Good morning. There we go. I was like, why is my camera not working? Good morning. Good morning, everyone. God damn. What horrors do I have in store today? I'm wondering if I should even try and like go through the tabs or if I should just go in the order that they were opened but backwards because I'm at the end of the line. Blinked into I know. I was like, hold on, wait a minute. Hello. Good morning. Buy your gamer soups using code Kirsche. I haven't had any gamer soup since I got to Bunkerland. I fucking smashed through like 3 boxes of that shit. I like the gamer soups. I handed us off to Fillion getting blasted by Bao. Yeah, that was interesting. I never expected a fucking gun stream with Fillion and Bao. Practicing her stealth dangerous, truly. Instead of a yappy weekend, can we have a happy weekend? Oh, porque no los dos, honestly. And Bao doing the 50 cal was nuts. GamerSupps cans from yesterday were sold out this morning. Oh my god, they sell out so fucking quick. I hope if you guys wanted to get cans, you grabbed some. I still have cans. Phoenix DS, thank you for the Canadians. Fox, who's never late, she's always on time. True and real. Same with you. Drake, thank you. It's Foxu. You must boop the nose. We boop the snoot. Aye. Red Heracross, thank you. Am I sure I lost a D? Seems like I gained 2 more. My booba haven't gotten any bigger. What do you mean? Gun safety on that stream yesterday was kind of a stretch until they switched to rifles. See, Bao shoot a 500 Smith & Wesson was cool. Hell yeah. They sold out. The purchases were limited to 1 per purchase. Supposedly you can buy the cans in 7-Elevens, but I don't know which 7-Elevens you can buy them in. So I haven't tried like finding them in real life. Plus, like, if you go to a cashier and you're like, "Hello, sir, I would like to buy this crate of GamerSupps cans. Can I use code Kirsche for 10% off?" The cashier's gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about?" You just reordered your GamerSupps using code Kirsche. Hell yeah, brother, thank you. Haven't seen them in yours? You only go to 7-Eleven for the Slurpees. Dem's some can smashing cans right there. I'm gonna be like my mom in just one way. You like the can flavors, but you're on keto, you can't have sugar. Oh no! Yeah, not being able to have sugar fucking rocks, bro. Just tell your local 7-Eleven to use code Kirsche when they restock. True! Be like, buy your pallets using code Kirsche. Tried to use the code at a GamerSupps booth at a con and you got told no! That's funny. You work at a 7-Eleven, you haven't gotten any of the GamerSupps stuff, but it's probably because you're not in the US. Oh, that makes sense. I'm sure that, like, if they're at some 7-Elevens, they gotta be, like, very few and far between, kind of like the grog placement, you know? Went to 3 local ones and they don't have them? What the hell? Total scalper death. You don't even blame GamerSupps for that rule. If we lived in a polite society, the addicts could get their fix in peace. True. True. You looked up the closest 7-Eleven to you. It's in Detroit and you don't live in Michigan. Awkward. Have a great day. No, you, Dan. You have a great day. You asked your 7-Eleven and they said they were available anywhere in your city. Oh shit. Well, you're fucking lucky. You're in the GamerSupps mecca, brother. You just got some grog at your local Heb. The grog is so good.
Fox is never late, chat. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Munya! Mr. Anamanamana Moose, thank you. Thank you for the 25, brother. Thank you. I hope everyone's staying safe. Yeah, same. As it was been a fucking weird couple of days out in the real world. Multitasking with Path of Exile 2 on one screen and Foxu on the other. What a great day off. They used to sell G Fuel cans at Sheetz. I didn't know G Fuel had cans. That's news to me. 86. Did it not reset from last stream? No. The counters for like hiccups and flies and shit, those are cumulative, not per stream. That's why my hiccup counter on Twitch is at like 5,000 something or something ridiculous. Mysterious Senor Hitler, thank you. They've already sold out on the website. Life is suffering! Why must I be teased so? It's so, when things come back in stock, everybody scrambles to buy them because they know they're gonna go out of stock again real fucking quick. And then the gun stream with Affiliate and whatnot was interesting. Yeah. I think Micro Center still sells G Fuel cans. I had no idea they had cans. I feel like if you hug the model, it squishes. Oh, very squishy. Yeah. Only started the counter in 2023. Yeah, I think the hiccup counter started in 2023. I want to say it started during my donathon, but I can't remember. So you can't ever get the banana flavor. Oh no. Speaking of back in stock, are Dockies back in stock? Those will not be back in stock, but you did remind me that I had a question for merch people. Hold on a second here. I've thought of this several times, but then I keep forgetting to ask. I keep forgetting to ask. I guess it's just a general question. Okay, question has been posed. Thank you for allowing me the typies. Hellsaber, thank you for the pounds. The only woman you could stand listening to for hours on end. Thank you for the Kirsche knowledge and the laughs over the past months. Thank you. Eventually, you'll get a woman of your own, and you'll be able to stand listening to her for hours. Phoenix DS, thank you for the Canadians. The Foxu is the hiccup version of Karn, confirmed. Like Temple of Karn? What song is this? All of the music played in the background on my streams are custom songs that I had made specifically for my streams. If you would like to listen to them outside of streams, I have all of them uploaded on my YouTube channel. So feel free to listen or use them in clips and shit. I don't care. You know, it's... have fun. Have I seen the Reddit posts that are glad more Christians are dying and calling for more to be killed after the Catholic school shooting? I think I have a tab somewhere where there is like an update on those people going crazy, because we did talk about a handful of Reddit posts the other day when I went through everything about the recent shooting, and I think I do have a couple of updates on how crazy things are in regards to that. Let me see here. So I did wake up to this really weird tweet. Battleizer, thank you. Good morning. Will we ever get a next question counter? You do not believe there is one. We can't just have a million counters for everything. You're gonna say the guitar sounded like Dark Necessities by Red Hot Chili Peppers? You didn't know? It was some instrumental. Yeah. No, all unique musica. You saw one of my shirts in the wild today? Oh, fuck yeah, brother. I cannot wait for the day that I see, like, stickers on cards of, like, my stuff. It's gonna be surreal, and I'm probably gonna have, like, a little giddy giggle moment. Can we get a counter? True. Attacks on churches have been going up like crazy in the last few years, especially on the West Coast. I feel like, I mean, there are obviously attacks on churches before then, but the, burning of that famous cathedral in France that I am forgetting, was it Notre Dame? But the burning of that cathedral, I think, kind of kicked off a let's just attack any church anytime we can kind of thing. Notre Dame, thank you. I'm so bad at names, chat. Honorable Chatter even brought the Kirsche plush to the New Jersey Azure Lane event. Oh, that's so fucking sick. That's so cool. Come to New Jersey. I was in New Jersey before. Belvedere is very cute, but I don't know if I would want to be outside of Belvedere. Disgusting. It's about 100 a year in France. It's crazy. Mysterious Senor Hitler, thank you. Foxy will know she made it when the shooter in a police procedural is wearing one of her shirts when the cop lights him up. Please please, my dear honorable chatters, do not become part of a news story that I read on stream. Don't do that. You say bulldoze the cathedrals, replace them with Hellenic-styled shrines dedicated to helping awaken the chosen ancestors. What the heck? The violence on the West Coast has been insane. Churches are being threatened. Synagogues are getting bomb threats. It's nuts. Yeah, it's a little crazy. I woke up to, this tweet where someone said, they're really making Protect Trans Kids shirts with Robert Westman's picture on them. And I was like, huh, that's really fucking strange. And then I scrolled down and I was like, wait a minute, this guy said they're really making, and then said get yours here. Okay, that's a little strange. And my immediate thought was, if this was actually people with the Protect Trans Kids ideology, I don't think they would have used this picture of the shooter. The fact that they used that picture makes me feel like this is probably a shitpost. But this is your song, thank you. I almost hiccuped. This is your song. Thank you, Jimothy Farm. Thank you, Jimothy Farm. We should have a account or drinking game whenever I say it. You think of that episode of How I Met Your Mother with Robin saying it? Do I say often? I don't notice my vocal tics myself, because, like, you know, it's just normal to me. She denied us a hiccup. Moinya! Mr. Jimothy Farm, thank you for the heckin' slaves, brother. Thank you. Thank you. This has to be a shitpost or some inside job. There's no fucking way someone can be this lacking in self-awareness. That is what I'm saying. I was like, it just blatantly looks like a shitpost. And I'll read you the description, and it even sounds like a shitpost. Like, the way that the description is written, it sounds like what I would say if I was trying to pretend to be a leftist, right? Like, it just sounds very shitposty. So the description says, Robin Westman Protect Trans Kids shirt, the reason behind its viral trend. It's hard to believe, but sometimes the simplest things can hit you the hardest. I remember one particular morning, I was just scrolling through the news, you know, like everyone does. And then I saw it, a story about this kid. Just a kid who was facing the world. And it hit me, really hit me, how much courage it takes to just be yourself. It made me think about all the kids out there, the trans kids, and the battles that they fight, just to be seen. And honestly, it made me feel, I don't know, just a bit helpless. But then I thought, maybe there's something small I could do. Something to show support. The Robin Westman Protect Trans Kids shirt. Now the name, well, it's pretty straightforward. Robin is a friend of mine. Also, the last name is a reminder of an old friend who is struggling, and she's someone who always fights for what's right. Protect, because that's exactly what it's about. It's about creating a space where trans kids can feel safe and supported, where they know someone, somewhere, has their back. And trans kids, well, it's the point, isn't it? These are children, precious children, who deserve the chance to live authentically. It's a reminder of the love, the courage, and the strength that burns within them. This shirt isn't just fabric, it's a statement. It's a visual hug, a whispered promise of solidarity. It is for you, and for anyone. So about the shirt itself, we're not talking about a flimsy thing that'll fall apart after a wash, and then they just talk about the specs of the shirt. And what about the response? Honestly, it's been overwhelming. Newspapers have been reporting the popularity of this shirt, and they've been praising it for its message, for the idea, and for the support that it can provide. Everyone seems to be responding to the message. It's not just a shirt, it's a symbol. It's a way to show everyone you're standing with the trans kids. And so, like, again, that reads very much like a fucking shitpost. Like 1,000%. And the only thing that prevents me from going full 100%, yeah, this is very much a shitpost, and I'm at like 98%, is that the shirt is actually for sale. And if you sell this shirt and someone buys it and wears it in public, no one is going to understand, oh, this is a critique on people who put identity above everything else, and so they'll defend even the most vile and disgusting and disturbed of monsters in order to maintain the status quo and protect what they believe is their ideology, not children. So, it's just like, it could have been a very great shitpost, but since it's actually for sale, that brings a little bit of confusion to my brain. And also, as other people were mentioning in comments on Twitter, all of the, like, people wearing it are, like, it's photoshopped onto the stuff that they're wearing just to, like, show what it would look like. So these people have, like, nothing to do with the shirt. Why the fuck does he look like Rocky Dennis? That's what I'm saying. Like, if this was actually left-wing people, I don't think they would have used this picture. Too many words. Sounds like a leftist meme. I'm betting it's Australian trolls again. Imagine if this guy becomes the Saint Floyd of trans people. Oh my god, we can't pray to estrogen, man. Wouldn't do non-obvious shitposts IRL. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, where it's like, if it was an obvious shitpost, which, again, the picture makes me feel like it should be, but we've crossed that Maginot line ages ago, where, like, you can't tell just by looking at this anymore if this is somebody being tongue-in-cheek or if this is somebody being sincere. It's very unfortunate that we've come to this part of existence. It's a Maginot line. Yeah, exactly. Doesn't have the colors, so it's a troll. Also a good point. Neon Dystopia, they give the 3-month member. They've completely dropped the story. Probably already know why. The manifesto was very telling. And the manifesto I'm no longer allowed to read on stream, which is fucking stupid, unironically. A new model? Noise. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's great. Yeah, there's other shirts on the site that are a little funny. And KV just linked me a couple of shirts. My fat cock should be on Ozempic. That's a great shirt. You should never wear that in public, though. This is like a shirt your girlfriend buys you as a joke, and you only wear it, like, inside and on chore days. The shirt will look great with a septum ring and visible mental illness. It's like, you know, I have a handful of shirts that are delegated to at-home only shirts because they're not something you should ever wear out in public. That's 100% a yard work shirt. Exactly, man. Needs to have an obese rooster on it. Yeah, just a rooster suffering from obesity, like that one cat you always see videos of on the treadmill. It's the perfect shirt to wear when meeting your girlfriend's parents. Please, no. Please don't do that. So there's that one. And there's 0% liberal. So it's again, I got the feeling that this is very likely a shit post, but the execution is highly questionable. Highly questionable execution. Because it's like, who's going to buy it? Right? Like, maybe they'll get a couple of mentally ill people similar to me, where it's just like, oh, I want to own this as like a reminder of the dark times, so that in 2080, when my grandchildren are looking at my wall of political t-shirts, they'll be like, Grandpa, what's this weird mugshot one here? Spicy what's a trans kid?
Spicy cat.
And be like, well, little Jimmy, let me tell you about this collective psychosis period of time in the 2010s and 2020s, where everyone thought that men could legitimately become women, and we just let them do whatever they wanted, no matter how much it harmed other people, simply because they thought that. And if you spoke out against it, you lost your job, Jimmy. It was insane. You're gonna let their kids name your grandchild Jimmy. If I have kids and then without any influence at all, they have a kid and name it Jimmy, I will lose my mind. Hillis Mallory, thank you. Had a t-shirt, FBI female body inspector. I still remember in high school the shirts that some guys had that would be like, I'm not a gynecologist, but I'll take a look. And then there was one with like a condom inside the shirt behind plastic. And it said, in case of emergency, break glass. As long as they don't name him Tony, it'll be... If they name him Tony, he will just get jokes all the time. And they'll like come over for like his 10th birthday and I'll be like, "Hey, Tony, it's been so long since I've seen ya. Did you do the thing we talked about?" They'll be like, "Grandma, I don't know what you're talking about." Like, little Tony, if you didn't do the thing, you can't get any presents. I need the finger of the guy. If a girlfriend gives you a joke shirt, you will wear it in public just to call her bluff. I think, like, the most embarrassing shirts I've been given as gifts is obviously the stereotypical woman t-shirt of touch my butt and buy me pizza. I was like, that doesn't go outside, bro. That doesn't leave the house. This one wasn't a gift, but I bought a tie-dye Barbie t-shirt that was like blue and white tie-dye, and it had in like really swirly, girly, chunky font, femme fatale. Oh god, I've worn that one to the gym a handful of times. It's so fucking goofy. And then a guy I was dating, the guy that I lived with for like 4 years, he bought me a shirt that said, "This shirt smells like your boyfriend." And I was like, but if I'm walking with you and I'm wearing this shirt, doesn't that imply that, like, you have another girlfriend? I was like, what the fuck? I'm pretty sure that shirt is, like, in storage at my grandpa's place. Shoutouts to Bagsterd's Hooters Remembers 9/11 gym shirt. It's fucking what? I would wear that. You had a shirt that said "Slap on a Slim Jim" and "Oh yeah" with Randy Savage on the front flexing. You missed that shirt. What the fuck? What the fuck? So yeah, third shirt KB linked me. $5 Fent long? Please do not put your fentanyl on bread. I can't imagine that being a good way to ingest it. You have a shirt that says "Stunt Cock" and that has a chicken on it dressed as Evel Knievel. I've had one pair of apparel with a cock on it in my life. And it was underwear that said "I love" and then just a fat rooster. And I accidentally flashed people on a dinner cruise with that, because, like, I wear pin-up dresses, man, and, like, I'm used to wearing them on cruises, and I've been fine. It's been fine. But that night, it was really windy, and so I accidentally flashed a bunch of people. She flashes, not on purpose, all right? Not this time. $5 for that much Fent is a damn good deal. It's probably mostly baby powder, let's be real. Consult the Feemsh for the proper administration of your Fent. You got the Medicare shirt that says "Eat Me" and has a gingerbread man on it. Oh. I have a handful of his merch. I have that, like, oh, is it boy? Yeah, it's boyfriend free girl dress with all the little bubbles on it. He had a shirt that said "I have a PhD." Pretty huge. Leave the rest to the imagination. Oh, Jesus. There's, you know, the shirts at Spencer's, as it were. At least some husbando got a free show. You just have the hat. I really wanted more Sweetie Squad merch. I'm glad they came out with a bit more of it before they tanked the store. For the baby powder, that might be a fair price, too. I remember when Chinese people were buying out, like, all of the baby formula from, like, Australian supermarkets and shit. What was even the reason for that years ago? But yeah, this shirt a little weird. I'm pretty sure it's a shit post based on the picture used and the description, but, like, I don't know. Still a little weird to sell it. Wait, can you get it on a mug? Oh no, you can get it on a poster too. Oh no, brother. I saw a shirt at Spencer's that said "My bitch has autism." Hell yeah. The Pakistani National, thank you for the Canadians. These are shirt designs people make in Koikatsu. Phoenix DS, thank you for the Canadians. You got a coworker, a few strange shirts, one with the killer clown of the new horror movies. Psycho, but a little cute. The cat one that says, I like you, I'll kill you last. See, I could easily do some of that shit with the Kirsche, right? I mean, it's meant for war crimes. They were sending the formula back to China because China contaminated all of their own supply through sheer stupidity. Damn. Moose Nugget, thank you. A joke for when your future himbo gets on your bad side. What's the difference between you and an egg? The egg gets laid. That's so mean. You made like 10K sourcing that, about the same sourcing TP for Venezuelans. Jesus Christ. The baby formula market is heating up, or was heating up rather. Meant for does not equal capable of a murder or doing alike. What? You have a shirt that has a picture of your buddy's face with wanted chromosome theft. I would feel so fucking special if I had a friend that gave me a shirt like that. Holy fuck. Also, how have I never seen this fucking shirt? Where did he even buy this shirt? Was this from 2022? It's backwards! Hooters remembers 9/11. That's so fucking crazy. I love that. He wears it on stream. I probably just never paid attention. Because when I'm in his stream, it's after my own stream. And so my brain is just... Sergeant Buck, thank you. Got a Hillary for Prison shirt from InfoWars back in 2016. After too many shots of rum. Wore it on election day. Nobody on campus would look at you. That's fucking great, man. It's backwards because it's a mirror. Yeah, but he could have, like, flippy-floppied it, right? That's something you can do with image editing. When it comes to sex, your needs are always special. Yeah, treat me like I'm a nice steak. You believe that shirt is referred to as a difficulty tweak? That's a great fucking shirt. I strive for that level of shitpost. Alejandro Trombono, thank you. You had a female coworker give you a shirt that said male model of the year and it fits like a napkin now. Yeah. Back before I did like keto and everything, you know, and I was in my deep anxiety spiral. I have a bunch of shirts from like high school that I never got rid of because I really fucking like them. And one of the like from first to last band shirts, I was like, oh, this is fitting kind of tight now, brother. It's time. It's time to fucking work out, man. I'll treat you like a steak tartare. What the hell? You still have one of Sargon's filthy smear merchant shirts. Also a good shirt. Let's see here. The shirts might be worth some money. Potentially, I'm not entirely sure. I just know I have a bunch of old stuff. Like none of my trip pants survived since I was a blader, unfortunately. And those things got shredded in the thigh area so fucking hard. Oh, I have two interesting articles. One of the articles is from yesterday, actually, and I'm glad that I didn't get a chance to read it yesterday because I think it fits perfectly after this first article from today. So today's article, 3,000 teachers beg for donations for basic classroom supplies despite NYC's record-breaking per-pupil spending. More than 3,000 New York City public school teachers are begging for donations for basic classroom supplies, even as the City Department of Education is projected to spend a record-breaking $42,000 per pupil when students return to school September 4th. What the fuck is this September return to school time? What? I had to return to school in fucking August. What are these kids doing? Internet Zen Master, thank you. You got a shirt back in high school that had huge text that looked Chinese until you turned your head and it actually said, go fuck yourself. Best part is you were taking Mandarin Chinese in high school. I've seen those shirts. Give me that 42K. What the fuck? Yeah, right? Teacher Shern Jackson is one of 3,385 city educators relying on the on-Rhine fundraising, by the way, platform. Donors choose to fund items outside of their school's budget and beyond what they already spend out of their own pockets. She's asking for money for bandages, hygiene products like deodorant and menstrual pads, and warm clothing, because they're as essential to her low-income students as pencils, she told the Post. I cannot go and be like, hey, Department of Education, I need Band-Aids and I need sanitary napkins to have in my classroom because my students are starting their cycles and they need the supplies. As a woman who has had the misfortune of being at school when the Red Sea begins to flow, I would never fucking ask my teacher in the classroom for a sanitary napkin. I would ask my teacher if I could go to the nurse because I wasn't feeling well, and then I would ask the nurse for one. What the fuck are these teachers smoking? The menstrual pads, yeah, that's BS. Like, there's zero chance I would have ever, in front of a classroom of kids, gone to my teacher and asked for a pad. Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no fucking way, man. Not a woman, but yeah, that sounds embarrassing. The most embarrassing time I ever had as a woman in school, period-wise, was, I had no idea it was coming. And so I didn't have a pad on me, and my flow must have been crazy fucking bad, because I stood up from a chair, and I was wearing pants, so it had to go through my underwear and my thick-ass pants. I got up, and it looked like I had killed a small woodland critter on the chair, and I was just fucking mortified, bro. I was absolutely fucking mortified. Sweet Jesus. Yeah, it was horrifying. I went to school in Alabama, and we always had to bring sanitary wipes, a hand sanitizer, and other such things. You don't remember having to bring feminine supplies? Ask the older male teacher about your period needs. Time for the sweater wrap. Yep. But I mean, more than the sweater wrap, I was like, how the fuck am I going to clean this off without anybody noticing? Oh God, panic. It happened to a friend of yours. I just gave her your hoodie to tie around her waist. Yeah, I just shimmied on down to the nurse's office after. I decided to sit back down until everybody left, and I then went over to the hand washing area and pulled out some of the really thin paper towels that schools have. And I was like, I'm just gonna wipe this down, you know. No wonder you don't date Jews. No more reminders of parting the Red Sea. Jesus Christ. Friend happened to be wearing white sweatpants, and we had to give her a hoodie to cover it. Yeah, after I started bleeding, I decided that I'm never wearing anything white on my bottom half ever again. And other than white dresses, I've held to that. I don't own any pairs of white pants or white skirts or white anything that only goes on my bottom half. Just bring the chair with you. Yeah, that wouldn't be weird at all. You're a grower, not a shower. That makes it so much worse. What? Brother, if you're a grower, you are the blessed. Growers are better than showers. The article, though. They'll look at me like, that's not important, but it is, said Jackson, who teaches 5th grade at KIPP All Middle School in Mott Haven, where 85% of students receive free or reduced price lunches. We have to pay for things out of pocket that are not being given to us. That's why I rely on Donors Choose, Jackson said. I remember these pictures of teachers showing off empty cabinets. This has been happening for decades. NYC's public schools funding sources, city, state, federal, other. City gives $23.6 billion. Damn, those property taxes must go crazy. State gives $14.9 billion. Federal is $2.5 billion. And then other is a little tiny slice here. $0.2 billion. That's still a lot of money. Because this is all in billions, brother. What the fuck? Phoenix DS, thank you for the Canadians. Be like Deadpool. Wear the red pants, skirts, etc. Erica Yonks, an art teacher at the High School for Law Advocacy and Community Justice on the Upper West Side, also needs hygiene products plus art supplies. There's no other profession where you're expected to provide literally the basics that you need to do your job on your own, let alone what the kids need to. The 11th and 12th grade teacher said she gets around $400 from her school to spend on supplies for approximately 150 students, a measly $3 per pupil. That sounds like it's a school allocation issue. That sounds like they might not be giving you as much money as they should be. That's not, like, lobby your school, not the people who live there. What the heck? I thought NYC was a liberal paradise. Shouldn't the school supplies be filled to the brim? Yeah, you would think so. What happened to this utopia they're building? Under the Teacher's Choice program, the DOE afforded each teacher $235 reimbursement for supplies last year, if instructors turned in receipts. The reimbursement amount this year has not been set, but many educators say the fund only covers a fraction of what they expect to spend throughout the school year. The district funds schools on an equity-based per-pupil funding model, according to the Department of Education, which said that principals ultimately decide how to spend the dough. So it's like I said, it's the school not giving the teachers enough of the funding because they're keeping it for whatever the fuck else. Yeah, equity. Equity also red flag. Someone who's had the misfortune to work with both state and federal agencies can tell you that they've long ago moved on from casual embezzlement to competitive. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I need basic teacher stuff, highlighters, pens, pencils, and copy paper, so it's a battle of spending my budget on logistical teacher needs and art stuff that I want the kids to experience. The Citizen Budget Commission projects the DOE will shell out $42,168 per pupil this year, up from last year's $40,639,000. Yet NYC teacher requests on Donors Choose is already up to a collective $4.1 million as the school year begins. Once again, this doesn't surprise me. They like, not the teachers. The teachers aren't going to benefit from this, but like the people who run the schools. They're just like, if the teachers can just get all of this crowdfunded, why would we give them money when that can just go into our paychecks? The school budgets properly, then how is the principal supposed to afford their Beamer? Be reasonable. No teacher should have to fundraise for basic supplies, said Manhattan Institute fellow Daniela Souza Ergarov of the absurd need to crowdsource. Just another sign of the Department of Education's incompetence in managing public funds. We are proud to provide our schools with the resources they need to support their students and provide a world-class education. In addition to free school meals for every student, dedicated facility teams that keep our schools clean, and school nurses equipped to step in when needed. A Department of Education spokesperson said, "We commend our educators who choose to go above and beyond raising extra funds for their classrooms and collecting extra resources for students who may need them." And I thought this was a really interesting article today. You know, really interesting article about how there's thousands of teachers in New York City just begging for supplies because they just don't get enough money. There's just not enough money. You know, teachers just don't have enough money. Oh, but teachers unions dump more than $43.5 million into liberal advocacy and Democratic PACs. Yeah, there's just no money for pencils, you know? The two largest teachers unions in America gave more than $43.5 million to liberal advocacy groups over a 2-year period, including several massive payouts to Democratic political action committees during the 2024 election cycle, according to a new report from a conservative education watchdog group. The American Federation of Teachers, AFT, and the National Education Association, NEA, shelled out $43,524,123 between mid-2022 and mid-2024, per a Defending Education report based largely on union disclosures to the Department of Labor. The cash windfall went to lefty groups that back gun control measures, support racial equity, and gender transitions for minors, as well as abortion access. Union dues can't be forwarded to political campaigns through voluntary contributions can be made toward action funds that are supported by members. On its website, the NEA condones political activism so long as it's not in service of any event deemed outrageous and offensive, though it's unclear where union bosses draw the line. And to put a pause on this as well, I don't think I have the article up, so you'll have to take a just trust me bro on this one. But apparently there are some school districts that when they send like a sheet home to parents of like, oh, these are the supplies that your kid will need throughout the year, right? And so they buy them like folders and binders and pencils and highlighters and note paper and whatever. when those kids then come in with what their parents bought them, it gets put in community buckets so that everyone in the class has access to what that parent thought they were buying just for their child. And this has caused some parents to get angry because it's like, well, if I'm buying this stuff for my kid and it's going to somebody else, I don't really want that to happen, you know? And I wish I had that article left open, because then I could read it more accurately. And I want to say this was from some sort of school in New England that I was reading about. Your school did that in elementary school and your mom got pissed? Yeah. If that happened to you, you'd be pissed. They did that to you growing up? I'm sorry, bro. Your mother would buy it but wouldn't send you to school with it? Yep, that would piss you off. School supplies are not cheap. Yep, and it's a little funky. Back to the article. Sarah Parshall-Perry, Vice President and Legal Fellow at Defending Education, said in a statement the audit sheds much-needed light on exactly what the NEA and the AFT prioritize, and it isn't America's school kids. Teachers' unions don't educate kids, Perry added. They seemingly exist for no other reason than to spend money, complain about parental involvement in their children's education, and advance left-wing causes wholly unrelated to improving educational outcomes in American schools. True and real. I can't think of anything good that a teachers' union has done. What year did my school do that? Those who were saying it, you went to school in the 90s and they never did that to you? I don't think that this is any sort of like federal mandate that schools have to do, so I think it will literally be a school-by-school policy. So it's very likely that some people had that happen in their schools while other people are just like, I've never heard of that, right? Like, this isn't some sort of federal or state mandate, this is just what some schools have done. Fucking PMC129, brother, thank you for those 10 gift subs on Kick, thank you. Well, thank you. One of the best teachers that you ever had in high school absolutely hated her union because they demanded she cancel some programs she personally championed and ran, not just because she wanted to provide it to the students, but she wanted the students to have it because she wasn't getting paid to do it. The union literally told her she wasn't allowed to go above and beyond what was expected of her job description, even if she wanted to. I mean, that sounds like, you know, you're not allowed to stand out and do better because you'll make other teachers look bad and then they'll have to work harder. Hey. The whole idea of the school supplies coming into a communist bucket comes from communistic ideology. Well, yeah. Unions are a cancer. Yeah, that's like, I know some laborer unions will put restrictions on overtime in general. So, like, you're not allowed to work overtime if you want to, because like, they would have to have everybody stay for overtime in order to make it fair for some reason, and it's like, this just sounds really fucking dumb. If it isn't in your job description, you're not allowed to do it. Yeah, I had someone mention to me before, like, there was something in a building that they were working on, and they needed to get, like, around some sort of drywall or something, but they couldn't just move it out of the way because it wasn't, like, fully put in yet. They had to wait for, like, the drywall guys to come in and do that because that's their specific job. And if they had done that, they would have gone, like, afoul of some sort of, like, union rule allowing the other unions to do shit. And I was like, that just sounds complicated as fuck, man. Holy shit. And I mean, my dad complained about his union all the time. You wish you could pull out that card, training the new guy isn't my job description. Force the supervisors to do it. Oh, but yeah, I've literally never heard anything good about unions, so I don't really know why. Why are unions? Nothing new. You've been seeing stories about teachers shelling out their own money for classroom supplies since the 80s, at least. Yeah? I mean, that's why I was saying, like, I've heard this for ages, but it's like, if it's the schools not giving enough money, because obviously the government seems to be giving plenty of fucking money. Where's the money going? Why aren't you able to get these school supplies? And they don't want other professionals taking work away from them? That's a little silly. Unions only exist to bilk money from their members and protect the underperformers while supporting left-wing causes? That's what it seems like. That's what it seems like. I remember talking to a union head guy out in New Hampshire, and he was just like, yeah, you know, there's not as much work at the moment because of Trump. And I was just like, what? Because, like, literally every human being I've talked to, because if you're head of a union, sorry, you're not a human being. Every human being I've talked to in New England is just like, please, we are so strung out for laborers. There's no construction workers. There's no drywallers. There's no plumbers. There's no anyone. We need all of these people. Please help. And the union guys are like, oh, yeah, you know, it's Trump's fault. We ain't got any work. It's too many guys. Not enough work. And then all the people are like, please, we're dying. We need the laborers. This is why when I was like considering building a house, like buying land and then building a house instead of just buying a house. And I talked to my real estate agent about it. She was like, yeah, there's a huge labor shortage. There's not enough construction workers. So you're looking at like 1.5 million starting for just like bare bones builder grade everything. Wait, really? Maybe you should move to New England? You see, that's the catch-22, right? That's the catch-22 of New England. They're dying for laborers. They need laborers. But you can't afford to live in New England on a laborer's salary, right? Like, you're making over $100,000 a year easy if you've been in any sort of, like, labor industry for multiple years. You can't afford to live in New England on that. You just can't. You'll be living paycheck to paycheck in an apartment, and you cannot afford a house. So it's like, it makes sense that they're dying for labor jobs because the labor guys can't afford to live there unless they have a spouse that makes significantly more than they do. Former union carpenter here. The union can do a lot of good, but because of Republican past choices, they become deeply entwined with Democrats. Interesting. I wouldn't know about the prior choices. I'm not old enough for that. I'm sorry, bro. Become a tradesman, move to New England, can't afford it. Yeah, exactly. It's like, they need the tradesmen, but the tradesmen can't afford to live there, so they can't come to the region, so they just, like, what are you supposed to do? You must build the houses, but you'll never live in one. Yeah, exactly. They imported all of the cheap Hispanics and Latins into mass, priced out the local housing economy, and drained the workforce. It's pretty fucking wild, bro. You don't understand. That's why we need our eternal underclass of illegal immigrants. I can't wait to see how much housing frees up once the feds actually come in and isotize everything in Massachusetts. If the heavily Democrat-aligned unions are bad, it's because of Republicans. I mean, it's possible Republicans did shitty things to unions in years past where I was either a tiny child or not alive. I have no idea. We fucked up, but Orange Man bad. BT, thank you. You're in UAW and your local is doing a great job for us at your plant lately. Got a new building manager that likes to push his weight around, and that helped to get us wages a better contract this month. He played himself. That's good for you, though. Adam Holtz, thank you. You lived in Connecticut for 2 years and you couldn't afford to live there for very long, even in 2015 to 2017. It's real bad. It's real fucking bad. The Phoenix DS, thank you for the Canadians. New England sounds like a trades desert. It is. It is. Like, if you're a trades guy, just find, like, would a girl boss executive who's not, like, a flaming liberal even exist? Is that a thing? Fight a dog!
Schools burn all their money on administrative bloat. My old high school went from 1 vice principal to 4 in less than 10 years when the old principal retired.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Gnome John, thank you. I had the stereotypical old principal. He was very fat, very Italian. Smelled like cologne from like 7 hallways away, you know? Thank you, Mystic Square, for the slaves. Thank you. Thank you, Mystic Square, my guy. Thank you, thank you.
There are likely more than enough competent construction workers right here in your audience, pretty fox woman. Command your slaves is what I say.
I just gather up. It's like, hey, honorable chatters, instead of a convention, we're having a house building event. Thank you, Mystic Square. You know, I was pondering, right, from Phoenix DS saying New England sounds like a trades desert. I was pondering, like, what if a guy in the trades just got, like, a girl boss executive girlfriend? She could afford to buy the property in New England, and then they would just have his salary as fun money, you know? Like, He sounds like the typical Massachusetts guy. That's like, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna wander around the Home Depots looking for the, like, the white construction dudes, you know? And be like, hello, I have a house. The one thing you can't get here on your salary. Let's date. And trust the Kirsches to build your house. That event requires the funding of the Kirsche Pound. True and real. Hillis Mallory, thank you. Unions were created to promote safety and sanitary work environments and turned into a money negotiation thug. Safety was regulated to government enforcement. I don't know anybody who praises OSHA either. When you were a very small school child, teachers told you all to sit down and write the legislature a letter telling them why we needed more money. Remember writing that schools had enough money, but our streets are full of potholes. Next month, the potholes got filled. Never underestimate your ability to impact your community. That's beautiful. Both the teachers got fucked and you got your roads fixed. That's like a double win. I hope your parents gave you ice cream. VTuber magic can be really powerful. OSHA's needed. That said, much like the ATF, they need to calm the hell down. I was like, you know, it's just like an HOA. In theory, man, that sounds great. We can have a collective of all of us who live here who agree on things to keep our neighborhood looking nice and keep the riffraff out, so make sure they can't afford to live here. That's great. I love that. But then in practice, it's just like power-hungry Karens being like, your garbage barrels were 1 foot outside of your designated line. Pay $70 million. You know, it's like, holy shit. A homeowners association practices diet communism. They like how you know how to lay bricks. Hold on, wait a minute. You need this as a shirt. I love OSHA. What the hell? Kirsche walks up to a stranger in the Home Depot and it's just like, date me and you can have any house you want, so long as it's located in Pound Town. I would never say that! HOAs make sure your neighbors don't spray paint Black Lives Matter and Free Palestine on their siding, but they also fine you for your grass being 1 millimeter too tall. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I don't know. Maybe if your neighbors are spray painting BLM and Free Palestine on their house, you can somehow get together and figure out a way to get them to move out of their own volition. You're grateful for OSHA after some corporate neglect led to some folks getting injured from a chlorine gas leak. Holy shit. That's a good pickup line. Keaton Greenman, thank you for the Knox. The unions were a thing after World War II. They were made to replace the guilds. One of the worst things to happen. Unlucky. Unlucky. Free my man's Lil Durk. I can't believe that some like random fuck-ass rapper that no one's ever heard of that named a song Free Lil Durk that had nothing to do with Lil Durk got my entire 5.5-hour VoD taken down yesterday. That's crazy. DMCA is nuts, bro. And just become smoking buddies with your HOA rep. Yours lets you shoot deer in the street with beanbags. I don't know if that's even like normally legal, so you got some fun stuff going on. That's annoying. Yeah, I got fucking dirked, bro. You were there for the dork debacle. I hate DMCA.
Butter dog. Dog with the butter. The butter dog. Put the butter on the dog. Butter dog.
To be fair, OSHA isn't liked because they're the fun police, but they do keep the Johnny Knoxvilles among us from doing stupid shit at work. They exist because of stupid people causing harm to others.
Spicy cat raid. What the hell is
Oh god, there's so many things happening all at once!
Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
Thank you, Jimothy! Thank you, Jimothy Farm, for the 100 fucking slaves! Thank you! Fat Electrician has a short explaining what women need to do to find a tradesman. I need that short. I need that short stat, brother. And Internet Zen Master, thank you for the butter doggo. OSHA isn't liked because of the fun police. Yeah. Yeah. I really hate when, like, rules have to be made because of, like, the dumbasses who would either try to get themselves killed or they take advantage of something being lax, and so everybody has to suffer for their idiocy. I hate those people. I hate those people. Why do I pronounce currency NOK as Kanak, Norwegian krone? I don't know. I like pronouncing it that way. Ziz, you're like the last person here who should ask me a pronunciation question. You've been here for how long? Did I counter the DMCA? He doesn't have the money to sue you. I think we just like AI edited it out. I think we just like edited out that because it's much faster and easier than trying to like submit a claim, you know? Because YouTube system is fucking garbage. Norwegian Corona. He just wanted the catharsis of pushing back. Anti-federalist pay and thank. You need to bring back trades guilds. Unlike unions, they train their members and guarantee quality, facilitate individual negotiation and merit-based, and use master-apprentice training style. Huh. The YouTube system's a shit ass, it is. Phoenix DS, they give Canadians. Bring back stonemasonry, and the Kirsche could have her Victorian home with solid stone foundations. Can you imagine how much it would cost to put a roof on a Victorian house, brother? That shit sounds crazy. Papal monarchist, enjoy your thank you. As a civil engineer, the whole thing with standards and safety regulations to kind of pound it into your head. Every rule is written in blood. Jesus. Jesus. Please do not write your rules in blood. I can understand if it's written that way and I pronounce it as written, like McMahon, but there is no second K in there in the front. I know. I don't know. I don't know. Just what my brain likes doing. It makes me happy. You've learned to ignore Kirsche's mispronunciation of words like many other things she says. Sometimes I actually mispronounce something on accident, and then I learn how to really pronounce it. And sometimes I decide to actually pronounce it correctly. And other times I say, nah, I like the way I pronounced it better, actually. And pretty much every OSHA rule exists because someone found a corpse after. Well, maybe China needs OSHA.
Good morning.
Let's see. Where was I? Where did I leave off here? The contributions included $9.3 million from both AFT and NEA to the left-wing For Our Future Action Fund PAC, which operated primarily in 2024 battleground states. Another $1.6 million also was funneled from AFT to the Democrat-supporting House Majority PAC, $1.25 million to the similar Senate Majority PAC, and $250,000 to Future Forward, the primary super PAC backing Democratic nominee Kamala Harris's White House campaign last year. A big backer of former President Joe Biden's 2020 campaign as well, AFT President Randy Weingarten, caught flack in the early years of the 46th president's administration for pressuring public health officials to keep schools closed amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Both the AFT and the NEA also pushed the Biden White House and administration health officials to delay the reopening of in-person learning in spring 2021. Bombshell emails and records obtained by other watchdog groups and congressional investigations showed in 2023. That's really weird. That's really weird. Why would teachers not want to go back to teaching? Could tell how strong your local teachers union was by how long the school stayed closed. That doesn't make any sense. That did so much damage. It did, but like, why? Wouldn't they want to go back to work? Because Gen Alpha kids are savages. They're tired of those kids. Oh my god. Get paid for doing nothing. Oh, were they getting paid the whole time? Yeah, if they were getting paid the whole time, that's kind of fucking weird. They got their full pay and had to do 1/3 of the work. Oh, that is grotesque. What the fuck? What the fuck? Why were they getting paid the whole time? What? They were still getting paid without having to work? That is insanity. Bro, what are teachers' unions? Weingarten also misrepresented scientific studies demonstrating it was safe for kids to be back in classrooms when testifying about COVID to Congress, according to the scientific authors of that research. Only in early 2022 did the Biden administration announce that 95% of U.S. public schools had returned to full-time in-person learning. Another $500,000 went to the 1630 Fund, a nonprofit managed by the dark money network Arabella Advisors, and sometimes portrayed as the left's answer to the right-of-center Koch network. Sorry, it's Coke. I know it's Koch brothers, but I automatically say cock first when I read. The dark money group Koch network. President Trump on Wednesday called for liberal billionaire George Soros and his son Alex to face racketeering charges for their affiliation with dark money organizations, including 1630, that contributed more than $20 million to groups funding protests against this month's DC crime crackdown.
You bad chat!
Internet Zen Master, thank you. Maybe China needs OSHA. Silly Foxy. That would require Beijing to consider their population as actual people. You've seen all of the horror stories that make it past the Great Firewall, and yet China has done nothing to fix the problem in their factories. This is what happens when you live in a society that does not have any value on human life. When you were laid off during COVID, you made twice as much on unemployment as you did on your job. You see, that's absurd. Like, if you give an entire population more money to be unemployed than to work, what incentive do they have to go back to work? A more like 666 group. Jesus. 20 million for protests is insane. It really is. Additionally, the NEA gave $100,000 to the Trevor Project, a transgender youth organization that some moms have accused of pushing their preteen children towards gender transitions. It's long been the case that teachers' unions have been hyper-political and given 99% of their donations to Democrats, added Erica Sanzi, Defending Education's director of outreach. What this report reveals is that they are also giving massive amounts of money to far-left organizations and causes that fight against academic excellence and inject harmful ideology into everything they touch. Students and school staff deserve to be shielded from these entities. Nearly 40% of the NEA's budget goes toward political advocacy. Freedom Foundation CEO Aaron Wythe told Fox News, which reported on the Defending Education document. You'd think, in light of the decline in union membership in recent years, that they'd start providing value to members that outweighs the cost of membership, Wythe told the outlet. Instead, they are appeasing the radical base of union members by advocating for men and women's sports, transitioning minors, anti-Semitism, and other radical ideological stances. In 2020, AFT gave more than $2.6 million to Democratic candidates, according to the political donation tracking website Open Secrets. The NEA contributed more than $2.4 million to Dems over the same period. So once again, really interesting that teachers' unions are spending this much money on activist causes, and yet teachers are just like, blue, we don't have enough money. We need more monies for them programs, blue. Especially if the salary, oh god, scrolling. Maybe teachers should make a less bad union than the current activist one. I don't even know how you would remove the activism from the unions at this point in time. Phoenix DS, thank you for Canadians. You have looked at the free COVID money as a trap the government will use upon the population. You never took the free money, you never took the free cheese, and old mouse proverb. Yeah, when they did the, like, moratorium on rent, I was like, yeah, I feel like you should pay that shit anyway. Because a lot of people are room temp IQ. And they didn't realize that the moratorium meant that their rent was deferred and not just eliminated. So they would take their money that they were supposed to be paying rent with and then just spend it on nice things. And then when the moratorium ended and they were just like, oh, now I have to pay back tens of thousands of dollars in rent because I wasn't paying it for all of these months. I'm so shocked. I can't pay that. It's like, oh my god. People who have no concept of the future. Yeah. I've made that joke recently. I was like, it's me. When it comes to water bottles, I am the 15-second African. They hit the floor and I just forget about their existence. But Kirsche, if we can't brainwash the kids into believing nonsense, what's the point of being a teacher in the first place? You know, that's a great question. Can we go back to actually having teachers?
You're getting a vigorous spanking because you've been a bad girl.
A more talitas, thank you. As someone in a postal union, most of what they do is help the terrible couriers who keep fucking up. Of course, management is even more retarded than the union. I hate the U.S. Postal Service. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Did I see the Kenyan philosopher admitting they have no actual concept of the distant future? Yeah! I haven't watched the video because I wanted to watch it on stream. And I brought it up like the day after it was posted in a tab. And I just have not had any time to get there. Now I don't even know how far back in my tabs it is, bro. My tabs are fucking long as fuck at the moment. Back to actual teachers. Bring back the ruler spankings. You actually have a story of a teacher who said they voted for Trump. He was your history teacher. Oh, you miss him. I've had multiple teachers when I was younger who were just like, yeah, fuck this shit, I'm moving to Japan. like I remember a music teacher, he didn't even say anything. He just one day picked up all of his belongings and left. Like, he didn't even put in a 2-week notice or anything to the school. He didn't tell anyone he was leaving. He just, like, fucking peaced out for Japan. I was like, okay, all right. Is that why Africa's always in poverty? Because they can't see the future. Hillis Mallory, thank you. Back rent, and now you are a sovereign citizen. Well, it's not back rent, it's rent you should have paid, but they weren't making you pay it because of COVID, and like you might be having trouble getting a paycheck. So it's like, okay, if you owe $2,000 a month, you won't have to pay for like June, July, or August in those months. But in September, you're gonna have to pay back what you were supposed to pay in the first place for those 3 months we didn't make you pay. Yeah, it's not fucked up. It's normal, but like people just cannot perceive like future consequences, you know? Deploy tactical course is true. Est Solo, thank you for those 14 months, brother. Thank you. People have to pay back rent from COVID now. No. I was talking about back when that moratorium ended. But people haven't been having to pay their mortgages because of COVID, but that is ending in September this year. So anyone who has like years of racked up no mortgage payments, they've just been living in their house for like 2, 3, 4, 5 years for free, not making mortgage payments because the government pays the lender. Yeah, that's gonna end, and we're gonna see a lot of foreclosures. I'm very excited for that. Sounds like deferred payments should be abolished. Oh my god. Why would someone do something so stupid? Because they don't understand that it's not actually free, and they're just like, oh, the government's paying my mortgage for me. That's great. I never have to pay it. But that's not what's happening. The government is paying for their mortgage to the lender, and then the lender gets to add on all of the missed payments to the back of their mortgage. So they're actually being, like, buried in more debt. I was like, how did they get a mortgage in the first place? Because lenders don't really care what people can realistically afford. And if they give you a mortgage that you can't realistically afford, they've created a debt slave forever, essentially. As I said, the mortgage one was ending this past April. It was supposed to end in this past April, but Trump extended it to September for some fucking reason. I don't know why he did that, but that made me very unhappy. Perceive mortgage, yep. This newtsy far-right VTuber is glad people are losing their homes. Next Vice article. I just feel like lenders should not be giving out mortgages they know people can't afford, and people should have a better grasp on their finances to know when they're being offered something they can't afford and not take it. Right? It's like, I think my pre-approval for like a mortgage, it started at like 400,000 and then ballooned to like 1.4 million. And I'm like trying to do the math about what a monthly payment would be on a $1.4 million home. And I'm like, I can't afford that. Jiminy Farm! Jiminy Farm, thank you! Couldn't find the short, but found the original video, Fat Electrician Casey's General Store at 10:35. Oh, you know, I should see if my mods managed to find it too, because sometimes they post it. Sometimes they post it. But you did have breakfast this morning, and you didn't pay your mortgage bill this month. True, but the people are retarded. They truly are. When the fuck's not paying their rent is why, when it came time for you to find one, you couldn't find a place with a reasonable price because every landlord was jacking up prices to make up for those shitheads. That's true for renters. People who pay mortgage also got fucked that way. If you had a high credit score, Biden had signed something that basically was like, high credit score people are going to start subsidizing those who have mortgages with lower credit scores and are unable to make payments as frequently. So if you have a higher credit score, you're not guaranteed a low APR anymore because of this. Fuck! I don't remember what the thingy Biden signed was, but I know there's a standalone video of when I covered it a few years ago on the channel. I'm still going up as a renter yourself? Yeah, sorry, I finished off one of my drinks and my head is small. So anytime I tilt my head back, my headset starts falling off my head. And I tilted my drink to finish it without holding my headset, so it fell on the floor. You get offered basically double or more than what you could afford in a mortgage, as far as you can tell. It's based solely off what you bring in, not what goes out. It's pretty fucking wild what you'll get offered from lenders. And it's like, I feel like you should be able to trust experts in their field, but when people are trying to sell you something, they're obviously not going to be honest all the time, you know? So there's plenty of people who are gonna get taken advantage of when they go to get a mortgage, unfortunately. That's the video that made you start watching me? Hell yeah, brother. Small gear, big brain. I hate having tiny head! I was like, one of the biggest issues when I was using a VR headset, my head was too small for even like the smallest setting on the VR headset. So I was like, it felt so uncomfortable to wear and it put so much pressure on my cheekbones. Some teachers in Japan are promoting Western ideas among children, which opposes the rising popularity of the Japanese first movement, fueled by resentment towards foreigners linked to crime. The situation echoes the Kurdish snuggle struggle incited two SA2 female. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about at the end there. Sorry, the sentence structure broke down and I couldn't read it. I'm sorry. Papal monarchist enjoyer, thank you. Current situation with debt and banks is the cleanest example to you of why the Catholic Church does not allow usury lending with interest in the day. True and real. We must get rid of it again. My Oshi has a tiny brain. True. I'm kinda retarded. I love watching the like Alex Jones segments where he has like fucking tweets and memes just printed out on his desk. It's so goofy. It's so goofy. Japan needs to deport the foreigners. I have a tab for that. Help! I saw these in the stream suggestions channel and I was like, what the fuck? Rivers in Japan are now facing the same fate as those in Canada. Should Japan be worried? And this on the screen says, Kiryu Waterfall in Gunma. What the heck? Why is it written in Hindi? Well, I mean, those aren't Japanese people playing in the water. They wasted not a minute. That's, I was like, that's interesting. I wonder why they're doing that. And then, here's another one that says, this isn't New Delhi, it's Osaka. I saw, when did they all get there? When did this happen? Is Japan like fucking speed running any percent? I don't get it. What the fuck is happening? Why is Osaka filled with English and French? That's a great question. It's hard to believe Japan is going through this shit too, even if it's on a smaller scale. I don't feel like it's on a smaller scale. It feels like it's far more rapid than what happened in Western countries. The white characters in previous vid were Japanese, asking, is this really happening in Japan? Yeah, it's a great question. It's sad your wife and you went there last year. Japan is beautiful. Yeah, I mean, I want to go to Japan. I had always wanted to go to Sweden to see the ice hotel. Now, you know, I don't know if that's a good idea anymore. I always wanted to go to the Maldives, and then I learned that that is an Scary nation. That's why we took out Abe. He was standing in their way. Jesus. Rip Japan, once a safe country. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is going on there. I don't know why this is happening. I don't know what they're fucking doing. Like this combined with like that weird Jika thing where they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna give special visas, and then the Japanese politicians coming out and being like, well, we're not gonna give special visas. And then another guy came out and they were like, well, there are special visas, but it's just temporary, don't worry. And it's like, okay, alright, okay. Massive influx from the start of last year. Go to Iceland instead of Sweden. Iceland would be a fun place to visit. Iceland would be a pretty fun place. Let's see here. What else do I have that's related? Oh, speaking of, it's kind of related. I thought this was funny. Let me turn off my BGM again. This is, you can say I love bacon in Morocco, but not in the UK. That's crazy when an Islamic nation unironically has more freedom than the fucking UK.
This is Morocco, an Islamic country. And it's here where I can buy pork bacon in supermarkets, served to me by Moroccans. I love bacon.
I love bacon.
I can say that in this Muslim country without fear of being arrested. However, in the UK...
We want bacon! To be honest, we're talking to all your
How can you arrest him for saying he likes bacon?
You're not allowed to say you like bacon, but he's around here, lad.
Can you explain that to me, please?
Yeah, so it's anything that might be perceived to be racially abusive.
Mate, listen, a full English breakfast, yeah? What does that consist of?
So, if you live in the UK and you want to be able to say nice things about pork, then maybe you should consider moving to an Islamic country.
That's true.
This is...
If you're a British person lamenting the lack of freedom you have in your home country, maybe move to a Muslim country. You'll have unironically more freedom under Sharia law than you do under the UK government. That's crazy. How can you arrest him for saying he likes bacon? I know they talk funny. I like it. The problem isn't that Muslims are infiltrating the EU. It's that the Muslims who don't have a place among Muslim countries going. That's the problem. Why would Brits bother moving to a different Muslim country? Because at least they'd have better laws. Morocco's one of the less crazy ones. Well, I mean, it's a tourist country. I still wouldn't go there by myself. That ain't happening, bro. Oi, mate, you have a license for that there bacon? Where's your bacon, woman? I haven't made bacon in a hot minute, and I want some fucking maple bacon, bro. I want it. I want it bad. I got the itch for the maple bacon. All right, okay. What else? What else do I have here that's related to this? Kind of related, I guess. Kind of related. Once again, I am excited for when the feds sweep Massachusetts. Get them out, bro. We have, with less international students on campus, landlords are left with vacant units. That means lower rents. How do landlords feel about it? Landlords are not happy. Good. Good. They should have to pay penalty fines for renting to illegals.
Normally these streets are buzzing with people moving in, but this year it's eerily quiet this close to September 1st.
Now's a great time to find a great deal.
According to Boston Pads, the number of empty apartments here in Mission Hill is up 93% compared to last year. About a half a mile away in Fort Hill, that neighborhood saw a 74%
Those are crazy
and
numbers.
Available apartments near Northeastern jumped by 154%.
Holy
compared
shit.
to a 5% rise across the city overall.
I also think that the universities will react differently next year and start their enrollment a little bit sooner because I think they were caught off guard.
Experts say there's a surge in empty units because less international students are getting visas.
On the past administration, this time of year, we would get a lot of inquiries. Now that's not really happening.
Boston University, Northeastern, and Harvard didn't respond to our requests for student enrollment data since the Trump administration's heightened vetting began.
Some people have very strong opinions on certain subjects, and that will make them not want to come to the U.S. and, you know, commit to a long-term lease.
The U.S. is in a great fucking position right now. I know we read that article the other day of that unfortunate Ukrainian refugee who fled war only to get murdered because she lived in an urban city in America. It's like, yeah, there's still the crime issue, but now is a great time to be in America. Fuck off, we're full. Now is a great time to be here on, like, you know, a tourist visa or something. Check out some non-urban areas. Less international. Oh no, illegal aliens aren't making prices unavailable for citizens. I know, the way that they frame it is crazy. Look at DC, the crime issue can be solved. Yeah, they fucking cleaned up DC real quick. People were like, there hasn't been a murder in 10 days. That's the best it's been in years. It's like, God damn, you people live like this? You live in a college city, let me tell you, it doesn't feel like the number of international students has dropped. Maybe the feds haven't come to your city yet.
Knowing that their visa at any point without any notice may be revoked.
With less international students on campus, landlords are left with vacant units, and that means lower rents.
What you're seeing landlords do right now is they're paying the full brokerage commission, and they're also reducing rents because no one wants to go vacant.
Maybe college students who are American will actually be able to afford housing near their colleges for once. When are the feds coming to Atlanta? Why did she sound sad to say that? I think we all know why.
On September 1st.
How do landlords feel about it?
I mean, landlords are not happy about it, but you know, it's a free market, supply and demand, and you know, they'll deal with it.
So if you're a student or just a procrastinating house hunter, now is your time to shine. If you want the latest on this story or any other housing story,
housing stories. What landlords' feelings? You live in a Boston area? Please send ICE. We have too many illegals still. Yeah. Bartimaeus Aurelius, thank you. Maybe Americans can afford college again if they are forced to lower prices. Exactly. Because, oh, those poor landlords, say the socialists. If you need more proof, they're all idiots. It's crazy. You know, like, I think landlords are fine. I don't have the, like, socialist kill all landlords mentality, but it's like, if you've been renting to illegals, I'm not going to feel bad for you when you have to lower your prices to rent to actual citizens. Like, holy shit. Some of the chat are probably landlords, but they know better than to rent to illegals and migrants. I certainly hope so. A Papal Monarchist Enjoyer, thank you. You unironically make your own bacon at home, cured and smoked. Oh my god. Does that mean you butcher your own pigu? Is that how that works? Is that what you do? They're getting 130% upcharge housing illegals in some cases. Gross. Grotesque, man. And, Internet Zen Master, thank you. Moroccans were always the first country to recognize America as a country after meeting Thomas Jefferson back in 1786 with the Treaty of Marrakesh. They've always been based as far as Muslim countries go. I still wouldn't want to go there by myself as a whammons. Again, that, like, fucking... I'm glad that the Moroccan government took care of that group of people, but, like, that mountain rape and beheading lives in my head rent-free, bro. That's scary, alright? Kinda allies with the U.S. Anti-Federalist Pain, thank you. Morocco is the U.S. oldest foreign partner. Once they touched our boats, we threatened them with Stephen Decatur, and they were like, you know what? No, let's just be friends. It's like playing Civilization. I wish that some of the newer civs weren't paused, because, like, I like playing Civ 5 in my own little autistic way, but, you know, I kind of want better graphics. Someone touched our boats. That's the last thing you want to do. Don't touch American boats. We're very protective of them. The Dark Laird, thank you. Lenders give mortgages to people who can't afford them because the government forces them to, while promising to bail them out. Infinite money from our taxes. Well, that somehow needs to change, man. That needs to change. Play Civ 5 on chat? Do you mean on stream? And also, I don't think the way that I play Civ would be entertaining to watch. Unless you're you-know-who and touch the USS Liberty. What else is in here? What else is in here? I guess I'll just do these assorted tabs. I got this weird thing. I've seen this woman post things, and I don't remember who she is, but I've seen other people, like, quote retweet them. Anyways, she says, as a woman, I'm more scared to walk the street because of aggressive far-right men that use immigrants to cover up their own predatory behavior than I am anyone else. Protect women and girls lot can't hold back their misogyny when they see a woman who doesn't agree with them. Very funny how little it takes for their masks to slip. Oh, remember that this is a dude. Thank you, Lord Miles. Thank you. I had no idea that this was... Oh yeah, you know, they got the cotton candy flag. Okay, checks out. All right. Howdy ho. This is one that chose the bear. But somebody else quote retweeted with a little clip here. And said, reminder that every person left of center is essentially this. They believe rape is okay as long as it's brown. And I was like, what the fuck kind of clip could provide context for that? What the fuck? And then I realized there's a horse fucker in the corner. And I was like, oh boy, what are we about to fucking hear?
Yeah, I mean, it's really funny because I'm over here.
Just, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna... Here, wait, hold on. I should probably move my webcam down because I'm, like, blocking their faces. I've been doing it the whole video. I just want to say, do you think it maybe speaks a little bit to the fact that we have a rape culture when we put 6 people in a room together to talk about Me Too, and the 4, when they're like, hey, who of you have experienced sexual assault, and the 4 women sit down and they've all been raped and they all can barely choke out a coherent sentence. Like, do we think this perhaps maybe slightly speaks to the fact that there's a problem? Like, Me Too has gone too far. False allegations are ruining people's lives. Okay. Who among you have experienced sexual assault? And, like, every woman in the room starts crying? Like, almost every female friend I have has been the recipient of sexual assault or violence or rape or whatever at some point in their lives. Seriously. It's such a common thing. I think 1 in 4 is probably understating it.
So we're like a minute and 11 seconds into this video. And, I don't really know how this relates to what the guy in the tweet said. I'm waiting.
Significantly. I wouldn't be surprised if the rate for sexual assault on women over one's lifetime was as high as 1 in 3 or 1 in 2. We just don't know because nobody fucking reports, because reports aren't taken seriously. That's what...
Well... Where's that goose meme? Where's the goose meme with the who's doing the raping?
Me Too is about.
Here, like, I don't think things are on the same level, but things impact you in, like, bizarre ways. But yeah, like, because the perpetrator wasn't white, and because he was, like, you know, part of, like, a certain religion.
Wait, are we being real?
And the police were basically just like, we can't because of cultural differences, which I don't feel like is such a good...
What? Bullshit! Are you fucking kidding me? Did she turn her fucking rape confession onto how the rape fugees fucking Ahmed Muhammad raped her and the police were like, oh, we can't persecute brown people? Bullshit! Bullshit!
Damn, he flipped his tune from, like, believe all women to let's mock this dumb bitch who got raped real quick. Holy shit! Holy fuck! I have not seen an abrupt turn like that since we watched that Indian migrant kill that family in Florida. Holy fuck. Jesus Christ. That was such a fast 180. Oh my god. How do you even say that and then think you're the good person? Oh my god. Solid proof that it's never about women, but hating men. You got whiplash from that. It's like, is this what it's like to not have any self-awareness? Like, I don't understand. Way to disprove every point he just made and prove her point right. Yeah, exactly. She's talking about how, like, oh, well, you know, I tried to report it, which is what he said, you know, people are afraid to report. She explained why she was afraid to report and what she was afraid to report, how it came true with the police being like, oh, you know, it's cultural differences, we can't do anything. And then he immediately starts mocking her for it. Oh my god, man. Behold, male feminist in action. Jesus Christ. Believe all women unless they were raped by a migrant. Yeah, true. Yeah, true. A typical Vosh moment. That is crazy. That is like, you know, sometimes you can fuck up and say silly things as a streamer, but damn. Damn, bro. Now you know what Kirsche means by whiplash streamer. Sorry, I can't pay for your medical bills, bro. Oh my god, what else? What else do I have here? Oh yeah, this weird guy, apparently he made a follow-up video. I don't know if anybody has a link to the follow-up video, but I do not have the link. I thought I pasted it on my phone, but I didn't. Bored DevOps, thank you for the 5. Sudden turn. Damn, I see what you did there. Unlike the family that didn't see that truck. Oh no. They could, there's no possible way they could have get these fucking people who can't read signs off our streets, dude. I gotta keep a hand ready for the headphone switch when watching Kirsche. True. Can already tell we're in for a ride. Yeah, he does not look well. Apparently he's also from Massachusetts, which I don't remember where I read, but yeah, it doesn't surprise me. A TikToker has issued a warning claiming that more violence will take place targeting children in religious schools and churches. In his rant, he declared that it's their turn now, vowing to laugh as children will soon be slaughtered. We've had enough of your kind. Now it's time for Catholic and religious schools to face it.
And you know what? There's going to be a lot more of that coming up. You know, especially at these religious areas, you know, hey, we've had enough of your kind coming after public schools, right? It's about time, yeah, churches and Catholic schools and religious schools, it's about time they get their turn. That's what I think. That's what I think. I'm just going to sit back and watch people do it. And I'm going to fucking laugh. I'm laughing about yesterday. You guys want to laugh about us? We're going to laugh about you. And you know what?
Okay, but like Catholics aren't killing gay people. What does he mean by this? And it's like, when you start thinking about the insane rhetoric they use, where it's like, oh, playing wizard game because of J.K. Rowling is literally trans genocide, or talking about preventing minors from being mutilated or giving hormones that could irreparably fuck them up. In their minds, they're like, this is actual genocide. They're trying to stop more trans kids from being created, and that's bad. And because they're trying to stop more trans kids from being created, we have to, in defense of ourselves, kill their kids so they know how it feels to have their kids taken away. And it's like, it's not even like Machiavellian. It's just actual insane levels of evil that cannot be described. You hope he knows he's now got a target on his back and opened himself up to retaliation offline. It's a little crazy. And it makes me think that, like, again, because a lot of these people have these like graphic murder fantasies, they have to project that onto their enemies and believe that their enemies not only want the same death wishes for them that they wish on their enemies, but that their enemies are actually out there doing that, and so they need to be the good guys who fight back. Hitler wasn't... I don't know about that one, Mr. Alistair Corvo. Not to mention, those he wishes harm might also be Democrats, since it's in blue states. It's because, like, they don't know how to think in nuanced ways. They just label people and then work off of that one label. There will never be peace. Hayless Mallory, thank you. There's no such thing as a trans kid. Horrible. Correct. Correct and true. I wonder if... Let me see if the Shadow of Ezra person had posted the updated one. Because I think that would be really interesting. Because a lot of people went out and found out who that guy was, and then he posted an updated video after, like, he started receiving people telling him he's a fucking retard. Okay, no. Shadow of Ezra does not have the updated one. What's with the corporate look? I'm in a suit. You wonder what happened to him. I wish his name was in this one so that I could search his name on Twitter, and that might be a way. Yeah, he is from Massachusetts. Thank you, Grok. Let me see if I can search his name. All this puts into perspective that dude with his cis woman breeding facility fantasy. It does. And I mean, we knew that ages before, you know? Let's see. I'm so shocked! Christopher John Hahn, who posted a video supporting the Minnesota church attack, has been revealed as an active donor to Act Blue. That's crazy. Employer disabled? I mean, it's only increments of $5, so it's not like it's crazy, but it's still like, that's not surprising. The rainbow background guy is why we're gonna see two-way rifle range open for business soon. I don't know what that means. Sparky, thank you. And then, for no reason whatsoever, the Crusades happened. You wish these people had IQ above room temp?
VTuber Kirsche.
Hi, hi.
Sorry, I'd cranked the volume.
You're a Nazi?
No!
As a Catholic, Deus Vult heathen, this is how you get the entire LGBT community purged from society, you concave-brained buffoon. You will be a victim of your own rhetoric.
Yep.
Congrats, you played yourself.
I mean, there's
people hurt everyone else, and I hate it.
Yeah, 100%. There's already been a bunch of, like, gay people coming out and being like, look, we warned this would happen. The T doesn't belong in the LGB. It's completely different, and they're going to be setting back rights that we have fought for decades. And it's like, well, you know. And I can't even, like, blame people for not caring about having nuance anymore, right? I've always said that, even though I try to differentiate between like activists and regular dysphoric people. Most people aren't going to, and that's what is unfortunate as well. That like actual dysphoric people are going to end up suffering the consequences of all of these activists and crazy people who have been censorious and violent and vicious and want to see people dead. Eric Heffelfinger, thank you. Let's threaten and tar the statistically most armed military, law enforcement, and emergency services trained people. A true Einstein! And Crusaders are carrying crosses and are those icons of their Oshi, Jesus. Let's see, news has been out for a day. There's no record of his arrest yet. A liberal who posted a video celebrating the attack on a Minnesota church holding Christian children and promising further attacks has been identified. Natick. I guess people actually, family deserves the best in service and freshness and selection and, of course, in quality. I don't even know what the Rasha Bros are. I don't even know who they are. So this one has a still from the second video, but it doesn't actually have the second video. That's the one we watched. I don't want to have that. I don't want to see that. I don't like, as much as I hate people, right? I don't want to see like their full fucking addresses posted. I think that's really bad behavior. And before he said it was only a joke. That was Christopher John. This is the same video we watched. There was a second one, and I want to see the second video. I want to see the second video. I don't know. This has no proof here, you know. You looked it up. Apparently, the Rasha Bros is a supermarket. Interesting. I've never seen it. Maybe it's like a Southern Mass thing. Fuck! Why are there so many people posting his address? God damn. Hopefully Ziz can edit that out. I'm gonna take this off screen so I don't keep scrolling past more addresses. And proof was up in another post. Oh. It's an east south of the city thing, maybe. Maybe. People tagging the FBI. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know where the second video is, but I know I've seen one. Because he pissed good people off. Yeah, and I mean, like, I understand in this case because he's literally calling, you know, for more death and saying that he's going to enjoy more death happening. But, like, I personally don't want to signal boost someone's fucking docs information. That makes me uncomfortable. Does tagging the FBI even do anything? Sometimes. Sometimes it does. I can't find the other video, so I'm gonna go ahead and give up on searching for it. You think this is it? Oh shit, thank you, KB. Thank you, KB. KB coming in clutch, man. It's a direct call for violence, eye for an eye. Yeah, like, I don't feel bad. You know, I don't feel bad that someone who's calling for violence is getting comeuppance. I just don't want to signal boost docs, because it makes me uncomfortable. Deranged liberal Christopher Hone, who posted a video celebrating the attack on a Minnesota church and promising further attacks, uploaded a new video laughing with text over it that read, "Y'all calling an old employer I quit from. BOD regular Sherlock Holmes, y'all."
If we aren't supposed to eat ass, then why the fuck is it between two buns? Looks like God opened a damn baker. If we aren't supposed to eat ass.
This guy is just evil, bro. Update. This was in response to Natick Police Department saw my post and investigated Christopher Hone, finding that he does not live in Natick and he doesn't work for Rosh Bros. Now they're investigating in coordination with our federal, state, and local law enforcement partners. Hone opened a new page on TikTok, posting videos raging about Trump and reporting people who outed him on the app to get his previous account suspended. Well, that's interesting. That's also relieving that the docs I was scrolling past was not true. Community update. We're aware of a social media post that has been circulating online. As a result of our investigation so far, we've determined that the individual who made the post does not live in Natick and does not work for Rosh Bros. This matter is being taken seriously, and we're actively investigating in coordination with our federal, state, and local law enforcement partners. Good. Good. That is a response I'd like to see. Has anyone gotten their Kirsche merch yet? There was a Supa that I missed yesterday that my mods posted to me that showed somebody got a shipping notification. So it seems like if you have purchased from my Kirsche shop, that merch should be going out soon. And Kiwi probably gonna find him first. I hope we see a video of a good old-fashioned tasering. Oh my god. Guy seems bonkers enough that you can't imagine he can hold a job down well. Well, I mean, that's what it said in his, like, Act Blue donations, right? It listed his employer as disabled. So that seemed to me that he was on disability and not actually employed. Right? Like, I could be wrong for sure, but that's how I read it, at least. Internet Zen Master, thank you. Antagonizing American Catholics after an attack on a church not only pissed off Catholics, but every single Christian. Luke 22 is a thing. I don't think you even need to be Catholic or Christian to get pissed off at somebody literally wishing more death on children simply because of their religious affiliation. Right? Like, it would be bad enough if he was just like, I want to see more Catholics die. Right? Like, that would be bad in and of itself. But the fact he's like, you need to feel what it's like and have your children taken from you is just another leap and bound. Like, more evil and more fucking crazy. Maybe his employer was the disabled one. Any American should be pissed. I mean, just anyone in general, right? Like, I get pissed on behalf of bad things that happen in other countries, right? Like, I don't want to see, like, wars and shit happen. I just don't want my country's money going to fund said wars. Apparently, the only kids in public schools are the kids of leftists in this guy's mind. Yeah, the Sam Hyde quote. Sam Hyde quote, also evergreen, also eternal, also gets me in trouble whenever I say that. Even though it's true every single fucking time. They truly know not what they do, but they will. They will learn. And speaking of learning, let me find my twoodle on the Subject. Eine Moment.
Eine Moment, bitte. Anna.
Because I have an article from Not the Bee that is related to my recent Brigadage post. Not even Christian or American, but you believe this fella needs his Minecraft base griefed. True and real. Anyone who shares even a loose moral framework should be pissed, secular or not. Agreed. Agreed. Alright, here we go. Here's the thing. Here's the dinghy. That's not the right tab. Boop. So, we have, Not the Bee saying, woke people are not happy that Cracker Barrel removed LGBT and DEI language from its website. Woke is dead. Most people are celebrating. Here's some tweets from woke people, apparently. I'm fine with the old logo, but removing LGBTQ and DEI content is just a dastardly move to appeal to the intolerant to shore up business. Sold out. No business from me. They call me Jimothy, said they went full Nazi quicker than Jake Tapper, and he was quick. Someone named Tinkerbell, also on Blue Sky, said, damn, now I care about its capitulating to Nazi bullies. I'll miss its chicken pot pie, but actually, Costco's are way better, way cheaper, and I have 5 days of leftover pot pie meals that are even better than the first. Someone else said, disgusting, pandering, disgusting food, degenerate culture. Someone else said, Cracker Barrel has always been racist towards, and they got away with it. If you're black and you're still buying that shit, shame on you. So now, look at them and boycott them and stop buying that schlop. Shit. Sorry. The little line was visible. It made me want to say slop, but slop isn't a slur. Stop buying that shit! Just like Target, there are other places you can spend your money. The food ain't that good. Someone else said, cowards. Unfortunately for many conservatives, the story may come as a wake-up call that pretty much every old-fashioned American institution and company has been captured by the woke mind virus. I don't like calling it the woke mind virus because this feels like fucking YouTube slop language where you can't say kill, you have to say unalived, right? It's not a woke mind virus. It's Marxism, brother. Call it what it is. Holy shit. We reported in 2023 about Cracker Barrel's gay pride statements, and if that wasn't warning enough, in 2022 we warned you that they were introducing vegan sausage. Here's what Cracker Barrel said about quietly removing all the woke stuff from its website. Oh, let's see what they decided to paste here. In connection with the company's brand work, we have recently made updates to the Cracker Barrel website, including adding new content and removing out-of-date content. A Cracker Barrel spokesperson told CNN in a statement. Several months ago, the company also made changes to our business resource groups that now focus all sponsorships or events on our corporate giving initiatives, addressing food insecurity, supporting community needs through food, and reducing food waste. And the author of this article, in all of their room temp IQ glory, said, woke equals out-of-date content. No, they are changing the language. The way that they have gone about DEI is the out-of-date content. The way that they are wording it is to hopefully ensnare enough room temp IQ people into believing that they're actually getting rid of the woke. Check out our latest video. I don't think I will. And so my tweet on the matter, before people start getting excited and claiming we're winning bigly, massively even, removing public DEI info was an easy way for Cracker Barrel to calm the fire from people angry at the logo change. They changed the logo back, and thankfully we did get a win there. Celebrate that one, because without the crazy amount of outpouring anger over the global homogenization change, I doubt they would have reversed it. Great job, all of us. Celebrate winning battles, but don't let people lie to you about the war being over. This is just a corporation announcing something they did months ago in the hopes to earn back a bit more trust after the logo fiasco, and it is not getting rid of DEI. So again, in the article, Cracker Barrel said that these are changes we have already made. They have already made the changes to language. They have already made the changes to the business resource groups. They have already made the changes to not report to like the HRC, to not fund the pride campaigns anymore. They've already done this. They just didn't say anything publicly. But now that they have this fiasco of public outrage over the change to the logo, changing the logo back isn't simply going to be enough to get back enough customers. So what do? They come out and say, oh, we've made all of these changes. We're getting rid of these things that you guys say you don't like. But actually, we're just doubling down and we're committed to them. We're just wording it in a way to make you believe we're doing what you want. The page for DEI has been renamed to Culture and Belonging. Hold on a second. Fat Electrician thinks the logo change is a marketing gimmick. The logo drama got them more advertising for free than they ever had. I do not believe that. I do not believe that the logo change is a marketing gimmick. The logo change is very obviously in line with almost every other corporation using Globo Homo in order to reduce familiarity, reduce individuality, and bring everything into a corporate minimalist art style. So no matter where you go, nothing stands out, nothing is individual, everything has the same corpo slop signage. Now, where I would agree with the Fat Electrician is him saying that renovating the buildings and making every building like a bland Globo Homo slop cube is so that the people who own the land can then make their money back easier, right? Because if they always kept their iconic signage, and not their sign, iconic like building architecture, like the McDonald's roof, the Pizza Hut roof, the shape of certain restaurants, right? Like, it doesn't matter if you turn that Pizza Hut into a post office, we always know it's a Pizza Hut, right? So like, I can agree that possibly the architecture is simply the people who own the land wanting it to be easier to sell if a restaurant goes out of business. That makes sense. The logo? No, the logo has nothing to do with that. Everything in the future is a beige box. The reason they finally talked about changing the DEI language is because they wanted to make conservative alt-right rhetoric to criticize the logo. I don't know, maybe. Are you able to pull all of this horrible stuff 4 days a week and not be black-pilled? Your resilience is awe-inspiring. I grew up on 4chan, brother. My childhood is literally posting on 4chan and my mother. Like, if I did not have high resilience to black-pilling, I'd have been dead ages ago. Max Schilling for real estate. You always have to have the hopium chat. Corporate Memphis is the death of culture. 4chan and black pilling about everything going to shit. Your mom is kind of 4chan personified if you think about it. I don't know, man.
Munya!
My mom is pole personified. True, schizo threads included.
Oh, the Cracker Barrel situation is so much worse, Kirsche. Go look up what the woke CEO did to the makers of their famous peg game.
Yeah, I have that video somewhere.
Cracker Barrel's 93-year-old co-founder has called it out as not Cracker Barrel.
Yep.
Company's screwed.
Yep. It's real bad. Like, the people involved in Cracker Barrel, and I get to that in this post as well. It's like, I'm not going to believe that corporations are actually getting rid of DEI unless heads are rolling. The people in positions of power in these companies who hired based on DEI, who instituted DEI tenets, who tried to follow like global homogenization, who wanted to adhere to ESG scores, they need to be fired. Without people losing their jobs who instituted this shit, I do not believe it's going to change, and I will not believe any company telling me that they are. Especially given how much information we know about how they're obfuscating it and how they're telling you directly it's important to continue doing the work. We just can't let people know that we're doing it because of all of the legal troubles right now. But back to the paragraph here. The page for DEI has been renamed to Culture and Belonging like every other company for the past 2 years. They aren't getting rid of it, just obfuscating the language. They even tell you directly that they're merely removing out-of-date content. There's also no mention of woke propaganda by Cracker Barrel, so that part is an outright lie. And that is from this news report thing saying Cracker Barrel will end funding for Pride events and remove woke propaganda, quote unquote, from its site after massive boycotting. They did not say that, and the person posting that from Leading Report is once again trying to make people believe that we are winning. And then I have an excerpt here from the Cracker Barrel statement, where it says, Cracker Barrel confirmed it has removed the Pride section from its website and claimed it made changes to its BRGs in a statement obtained exclusively by Fox News Digital. In connection with the company's brand work, we have recently made updates to the Cracker Barrel website, including adding new content and removing out-of-date content. A Cracker Barrel spokesperson told Fox News Digital. Cracker Barrel's Pride page, which listed the Nashville Pride Parade it sponsored, was no longer visible on its website when Fox News Digital checked Wednesday. The website link for the page now redirects to the restaurant chain's Culture and Belonging site. Is it really a removal if you can't call up Sherman and say, yeah, I burnt it all to the ground on my way through? Exactly. And I continue. As for Cracker Barrel's BRGs, another renaming of ERG, or Employee Resource Group, America First Legal has been targeting companies with ESG and DEI policies and trying to cut out the rot at its core. Bridge has advocated, and we have seen some companies start to roll this out in order to get around both of the DEI executive order and America First Legal's lawsuits over discrimination, that companies should expand enrollment to ERGs to include quote-unquote allies, so that the definition of the ERG would no longer be exclusionary. As an example, if there's an African-American ERG, you can now join if you are not African-American, as long as you are dedicated to improving environments for African-Americans. And we saw this when I talked about Lunduke Journal's dive into what Red Hat has been doing and how they've removed like ally badges. They've reoriented the language of their employee resource groups as well. They just don't want the visibility of like, this is pegged as an ally in this ERG that they normally wouldn't be accepted in. So they've done the exact same thing as well. Lunduke nerd crossover. He's a very nice guy. And then in another article, I posted all of my sources below this tweet because I really hate it when I'm looking at stuff on Twitter and someone posts a screenshot of an article and then I just have to go out and find wherever the fuck that source is from on my own. I hate that shit. So I try my best to remember to post sources under my tweets. If I ever forget, someone just ask me for a source and I can reply to you with it. But here's another article excerpt. What's really being challenged? Here's what America First Legal is focusing on in their complaints. That ERGs, or BRGs in this case, offer benefits only to specific identity groups. They use language like develop black leaders or empower women. That even if anyone can technically join, the stated purpose excludes others. This was after some universities tried getting around this by being like, oh, anyone can join, but we just might not accept you if you're not the right person. Don't worry about it. Right, so it's like they start trying to attack the specific language legally, which I think will be really difficult to do. And this goes back to my, how do you fight people that are constantly subverting language and constantly lying about what their goals are? That company-sponsored identity-based programs create discriminatory employment conditions. In the Cracker Barrel filing, they specifically highlight that the Black BRG states it supports the development of Black leaders, that the Latino BRG provides opportunities for Latino members, that the LGBTQ+ Alliance provides a space for LGBTQ+ people, that the Women's BRG helps women grow personally and professionally. They even cited the use of the word promotes as problematic, suggesting it could imply actual promotion or professional advancement opportunities tied to race, sex, or orientation, which, as we've seen, is correct in a lot of cases. Blows you away how good I am at uncovering this stuff and putting the pieces together. I put every single media outlet to shame. It's just a shame that most people haven't looked at my investigation, because I feel like almost anyone on the right who's been reporting on this shit would be very interested in it. But it's just like, I'm a cartoon and people don't take cartoons seriously. Maybe now that I'm wearing a suit, it'll be better. The corpos losing 88% of their investment base is gonna hit hard. Oh my god. A cartoon fox opinion dismissed. I did end up paying the other night for like the super premium on Twitter so I can hopefully maybe finish that giant sourced article I was trying to get out of like every single bridge resource I've uncovered and looked at since January 2024. It took months to even put in the amount of sources that I have in it right now, and it only goes up to like sometime in September last year. So I have a lot of work to do, man. Private equity companies, BlackRock, etc., also activists as far as pushing things in corpos. Most of us have pensions with orgs like BlackRock. I hate that they control the pensions, man. I continue. Here are some articles I read in July that expands on the idea pushed by Bridge and Sherm last year. The tweet of mine from April 9th, Cheryl Dija's point 5 in April's Bridge Buzz on the Project Forward guidelines, addresses ERGs and similar groups. And no one who's reading this, like, I already took up tons of fucking space, but nobody who's reading this who doesn't already watch me or know what SHRM is going to know what I'm referencing here. SHRM is the, like, organization of HR representatives that sort of informs how HR works in every corporation. And the leader of SHRM during the conference told everyone that for too long, they made white males feel like they are outside of consideration, and that if they want their cultural changes to actually take effect, they need to get white males on their side, which is why employee resource groups need to start opening up to allies and need to make people feel like they are going to belong somewhere in order for them to start championing the causes of DEI. Looks like it was Aquastar this time around. I don't know what you mean by that. Internet Zen Master, thank you! The most hilarious part of Cracker Barrel's fail is the investor screaming this rebrand was stupid is Sardar Biglari, son of Persian refugee who fled from the Iranian Revolution and is pro-American. Also owns Steak and Shake and all other American restaurants. Yeah, that was wild. That was wild learning about, like, the guy who they should have listened to, who made, like, these giant reports about how it's fucking wrong to do what they're doing. And then, like, all of the tweets from Steak and Shake dunking on Cracker Barrel made a lot more sense. So this was the tweet that I linked from back in April this year. Whistleblowers are important. This is also in response to Lunduke Journal's investigation on the tech stuff he was doing. This is a perfect opportunity to read the April Bridge Buzz and read through Cheryl's Project Forward, tips for companies to stay committed to DEI. And then the DEI changes at Red Hat again. And the changes in Red Hat basically adhere to what she's talking about in this. But point 5 The Civil Rights Act and the legal protections it affords remain unchanged. Continue to review your DEI practices to ensure that they are compliant with Title VII. For example, internships are open to all applicants. Mentorships open to all employees. Allies are invited to attend ERGs, etc. Once again, they're not changing anything. Nothing is moving forward. They are obfuscating what they're doing by using language that they think will make sure they don't get caught. You want a steak and shake in mass? Imagine. The excerpt below is from an interview with Kenji Yoshino, a man I found while looking into David Glasgow, executive director of the Diversity and Inclusion Center at NYU Law. And in this interview, the interviewee said, "With that said, what DEI programs do you see most at risk that companies might choose to stay away from?" And Kenji responded, "I want to be clear because I often hear that people are leaning out of these programs, but we like to think of it less as a cut and more as a shift in thinking while keeping the same commitment." One of the most common things we see is people saying any kind of targeted program is legally risky. A good example would be something like the fellowships that law firms offered that said in order to have said fellowship, you have to be a person of color. That is risky. But firms didn't jettison these programs altogether. They shifted them to say that anyone can apply for the fellowships, but it's going to be thematized around the advancement of diversity and inclusion. You can apply for this no matter who you are, but you need to have shown a commitment to advancing diversity and inclusion. In our terminology, this has shifted from cohorts to content. And the interviewer asks, "Can you share more about what this means?" And Kenji responds, "Cohorts are limited to a particular cohort of individuals, like if only people of color could apply. Content is anyone can apply, but the content of the fellowship is still thematized around the advancement of people of color. That distinction took care of the legal issues." Once again, pointing out, saying blatantly in your face, we have changed nothing. We are going to change nothing. We are going to continue marching in lockstep because DEI is not just a moral imperative. It needs to be embedded into every business. And no matter what we tell you with our language, we're going to keep doing this. So maybe now, instead of having an affinity group that's closed, you say it's an infinity group for Black individuals or Asian individuals or LGBTQIA+ individuals, and allies are welcome. Also, a retreat or development program that historically would have been only for women to close gaps in gender representation now can't only be for women. You have to allow men to go into that program as well, but it can still be thematized around the advancement of women. There is no reasonable expectation that they will not discriminate given this new wording. They should get sued by the federal government. Well, that's what I'm talking about, right? Like when America First Legal started bringing lawsuits against all these companies, that's when they started changing, okay, we can't have an African-American ERG, but we can have an ERG that anyone can apply to that is solely focused on the advancement of African-Americans. And then America Law First was like, wait, that word advancement of African-Americans is problematic because you're still putting them because of their race ahead of everyone else. So America First Legal is going after all of these companies and trying to stay ahead of them changing the language. But because these are Marxists you're dealing with, and like their bread and butter is obfuscation of language, it's going to be very difficult to keep up this sort of battle of the language. Fedino Governino, thank you. God, Kier, stop being such a schizo. We won already. The horse is dead, dude. They said so. True. Robbie Starbuck is the Jesus of our time. All companies get scared at the mere mention of his name. We're winning. You have to set terms debating a liar. It's fucking rough out here, bro. And then because like I this is where I can't like condense what I look up here. Because I expected people to just be like, well, who the fuck is Kenji Yoshino and why should we care about anything this random person you found said? What does this have to do with companies and corporations? Like, he could just be some schizo saying shit and you're just promoting this as fact. I was like, Glasgow and Yoshino published a book together. They both helped set up like diversity and inclusion shit at colleges. They're both troubling. And this book isn't just a book, chat. The authors behind The Crucial Read, Gretchen Rubin, New York Times bestselling author, Say the Right Thing, returned with this groundbreaking manifesto for reimagining the work of diversity, equity, and inclusion in a divided America. The work of DEI has faced a relentless political and legal assault. Without a clear path forward, progress towards fairness in our workplaces, universities, schools, and other institutions risks grinding to a halt. So how do we build a more just world when the old playbook is no longer viable? In this bold manifesto, Kenji Yoshino and David Glasgow, founders of the Meltzer Center for Diversity, Inclusion, and Belonging at NYU School of Law, candidly unpack where DEI went wrong and offer a daring new vision to overcome the rising barriers to equality. Drawing from their legal expertise and extensive experience advising Fortune 500 companies and nonprofits, Yoshino and Glasgow provide practical, research-backed guidance for employees seeking respectful workplaces, parents concerned about school culture, and organizational leaders striving for success in a rapidly diversifying nation. How dare they promote a far-right Nazi conspiracy? How dare they? In an era when equality feels imperiled, How Equality Wins provides an urgent and hopeful call to action. You let the pendulum rest. Stop trying to pick it up again. It sounds like they had backing themselves to sound like they know what they're talking about. I mean, that's how this all works. That's how this all works. And so I said, bringing the info trail back to Cracker Barrel, unless a company fires employees responsible for instituting and embedding DEI policies, and comes out overtly stating they were wrong to engage in DEI, there is no reason to believe they are doing anything other than following in lockstep with other corporations who are relabeling and obfuscating what they're doing with DEI in order to avoid lawsuits. Cracker Barrel is covering its ass while under scrutiny and lawfare from America First, and it's legal, but I said law, not actively shifting directive. So, once again, we're not winning. And it makes me feel wild. Let me see, because I know it was posted to me. Wait, no, I quote retweeted. Hold on. I'm remembering, chat. Smash JT fucking tweeted it. Here we go. Robbie Starbuck posted, huge. Our movement has achieved total victory once again. Total victory, by the way. Our boycott against Cracker Barrel has resulted in them ending funding for Pride events, already done before this happened, removing woke propaganda from their site, didn't happen, changing their ERGs, and changing their logo back. Changing their ERGs happened months ago, and it's not a real change, which is why America First Legal is still looking into them. Changing their logo back is a win, and we should celebrate that, but stop lying to people. Cracker Barrel has just released the following statement to Fox News on the removal of their Pride section and their funding of Pride events. And this is the same exact excerpt we've read a couple of times now, referencing the out-of-date content. As like, how many times can this man read stuff and not understand what he's reading? I don't understand. Our movement is so powerful that even I can't believe it sometimes. While the media credits me with these wins, we all know the truth. These companies don't fear me, they fear us. I'm just blessed to be your megaphone and a pretty damn relentless researcher. I want to remind people that I sent Robbie Starbuck Bridge information. I've literally DM'd him information about Bridge. So I don't know, man. Until next time, fight the good fight, never back down from doing what's right. And then, like, as these woke companies hate it when an email from you appears in their inbox. Robbie, you're doing God's work, thank you. This seriously brings me to tears. We've had a voice all along. We just needed someone like you with a desire, experience, and a big megaphone. How often do you follow up on these companies? He said they follow up a lot, but like, I don't know, brother. He's taking credit for the Fox's work. I was like, it doesn't really matter, right? Like, it's like he could have credit if we were actually winning, but like the logo is the win. The rest of this shit isn't a win if you even read what they say to you. Ego's so big, Elon wants to send a rocket to it. Internet Zedmaster, thank you. Relentless researcher, bullshit. He didn't follow up, like, at all with this one yet. It would be obvious if he read the words they put out and understood them. He responded to a tweet of mine at some point saying that, like, he was gonna reach out to this company. I don't remember any follow-up happening. Professor John Wolfman, thank you. The continued adventures of Robbie Starbuck, boy detective. It's just, I don't know. It's a little frustrating. A little frustrating, man. Is it the Foxu who's speaking of bridge? Yeah. I want more people to speak of brigadage, because that's what people need to realize what is happening. Like in my fucking like organizing of my big bridge document, I had opened up like path information. It's just like every time I go to put sources, it's like a giant fucking spider web, man. But this article I've tweeted several times from Thomson Reuters, and they have some questionable people on their fucking board of directors. Holy shit. But this article I think is incredibly important, and like if somebody is on the we're winning train, I think they need to read this article, if nothing else. This is from 2024, and I reported on it in 2024. Using organizational change to embed your corporate ESG and DEI strategies amid the backlash. Revolutionizing ESG and DEI means treating them as transformational change initiatives rather than transactional tactics to better ensure their staying power and long-term organizational resilience. And it's like,
Robbie is
that's
definitely
nuts,
not
man.
actually on our side and is just a placating rally point to prevent conservative from taking physical action. They're meant to assume the mysterious internet man is doing the work they need, but the reality is he's 100% a plant.
Just kind of what it feels like at this point. Like, America First Legal is the one pushing all of the lawsuits to try and, like, stop them from using the subversive language. I don't know if that's going to succeed, but, like, it's interesting nonetheless. Thank you, Spider God. Thank you. Zantetsu, thank you for the CRC. What did he do exactly in this case? Why is he taking any credit? I don't know. Burritos, thank you for the R's. So he is doing it on purpose, right? Or is he just stupid, malice, or incompetence? I have absolutely no idea. I have absolutely no idea, but it's a little silly to me. At some point, it's undeniable he's not understanding the words and is being paid to do so. Maybe. America First Legal needs to fire Robbie. Does he work for them? I don't know if he does. Maybe he just doesn't know how to win. Well, I mean, if he worked for them, wouldn't it be on his, like, bio? RS is a whistleblower type. People like me, savvy, the ones who dig deeper for the truth, a deep dive for facts. You gotta deep dive, man. Gotta deep dive. Maybe he just doesn't know. Imagine. So, this was another important paragraph I've highlighted several times. In the recent past, many ESG and DEI efforts were focused on short-term transactional tactics, which didn't serve that strategy well. Given the recent backlash against both of these, through a transactional lens, while ESG and DEI can show immediate results, they often fail to create lasting impact, said Nikki Gilmore, an organizational development expert and CEO of Evolved People. Instead, companies should aim for transformational change that affects the entire organization. This means moving beyond surface-level metrics and isolated programs, and instead working to integrate ESG and DEI into a company's core business strategy. And this is what Bridge has been advocating for years. This is an article I got from reading Bridge Smart Briefs. You don't know, he's in collaboration with them supposedly a lot. Well, you said it before and you'll say it again. Controlled opposition. Rosa Takanashi, thank you. He's a paid actor to diffuse the grassroots movements. I don't know. I wish I could somehow give all of the information I have dug up to people who could do something with it. We're trying to rush the normalization phase of communist subversion. Pretty much. Pretty much. And then they give you steps here to push transformational change with ESG and DEI. Integrate DEI and ESG into the company's core business strategies. One of the first guiding principles in organizational change is to set a clear vision for both DEI and ESG change initiatives. The vision must be communicated.
Is 100% controlled opposition. Having someone like him around makes it actually easier for the commies to slip their shit into everything without people noticing, because they're focused on RS's distractions instead. It's more Linksy shit.
Oh man. I like how the TTS read Alinsky as Alinksy. Like a cold acid, thank you. And I mean, yeah, that's very possible. I just, don't want to call someone a commie without actually knowing, Eventually you have to stop attributing actions to incompetence and start attributing it to malice. I mean, Neil Lindgren, thank you. Robbie Starbuck is a 5th columnist. Fair, it's a pretty heavy insult. Yeah, exactly. Could try sending it to Trump. There is 0 chance Trump reads anything I sent. That's just no. This vision must be communicated from the top by multiple C-suite leaders, including the CEO, to establish the direct connection from the outset that these strategies are core to the company's long-term business strategy. They literally tell you in this article that you should forego short-term perceived gains for the long-term strategy. This is what Bridge has been talking about the entire time, to forego short-term financial gains for the long-term cultural control. One of the past mistakes in setting up the DEI and sustainability functions was siloing them into the company's human resource and marketing functions, respectively, with no budget and no power to drive change. Number 2 would be to reshape language to focus on performance. Another crucial step is to reformulate the language around these initiatives, shifting the focus towards performance-oriented goals. To do this, leaders need to make clear why ESG and DEI are important. And then invest in manager excellence. Transformational change in many cases involves cultural evolution and learning, and excellent managers are needed now more than ever to ensure the cultural shifts stick and organizational resiliency is achieved for long-term success. Yes, we need more of our practitioners in positions of management so we can ensure that it is deeply embedded into everyday strategies at every company. I'm gonna go ahead and post this link. I didn't read the whole article because I've already read it on stream. I've tweeted about it multiple times. There's a standalone video of when I brought this up. So I don't need to read the whole thing, but I wanted to... help! I wanted to memory refresh. I wanted to memory refresh on this since, things are getting... We're winning bigly in the kitchen again, unfortunately. Now, where have we heard that before? Antonio Gramsci's strategy to subvert the West. Exactly. Baron could be your himbo. Just let go of your ageism. He's a little too young for me, but, I'd have a beer with him if he's 21. I don't know how old he is. No dying idiot. I try best. Patchouli, thank you. Hanlon's razor needs to be retired. You can be maliciously incompetent. Look at every single HR department on the planet. That's fair. That's fair. Please drink water. I have water. We'll never be rid of them. They got 2 generations to buy this shit. They got way more than 2 generations to buy this shit, brother. It's pretty bad. But it's only going to get worse if we don't put our feet down and do something about it, I don't want to be like generations past that were like, oh, well, the younger generation can deal with it. Instead of jorking it, now people are accusing you of starting a civil war in Indonesia. Well, why did you do that? Foul weather friend, thank you for the sex. Mentioned earlier wanting to visit the Ice Hotel in Sweden, but not feeling really safe. Rest assured, the Ice Hotel is in a small town in the deep north. Most of the unsafe stuff is in large cities in the south. Well, that is kind of reassuring. That's kind of I'm sure I'd have to be in a big city to, fly into the country, but then I can just, drive out of it, right? I can just drive out of it and be okay. I don't think I would go to the Ice Hotel without, at least a male friend with me, but hopefully a himbo in the future. No, don't drink water. Hitler did that. Don't go down the pipeline. Oh my god. Exactly what someone who started a civil war in Indonesia would say. It is. Baron's about to round the corner on 20, you think? No beer yet? Okay, well, when he's 21, I'd have a beer with him. Put feet down. Send pictures for proof. Jesus Christ. Moving on to other tabs I have in no particular order. immigrant families struggle to pay tuition at UT Austin after Texas DREAM Act is repealed. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. How terrible. Oh my god. They just keep trying to make us feel bad for people who shouldn't be here. Marielle and her mother are among families dragging suitcases and carrying boxes as UT students return to campus the weekend before the first day of class. And background music. The college senior is moving into an apartment for the first time. It's supposed to be exciting, but Marielle is a mixed bag of emotions. Until a couple of weeks ago, Marielle didn't know if she could go back to school. In June, the U.S. Department of Justice sued Texas to end access to in-state tuition for students without legal status, arguing the Texas DREAM Act discriminated against U.S. citizens. And within hours, the state conceded. Good, now get rid of the federal DACA. Get rid of all of the DREAM. KUT News is using Marielle's first name only because of privacy concerns over her immigration status. Marielle had been set to graduate from UT Austin next spring with 2 degrees, one in biology and another in Spanish. That's insane that an illegal immigrant was able to go and get 2 degrees. That is insane. What the fuck? And they were getting access to in-state tuition to do it. My dreams are dead. Why not theirs? You should be an American to get the American dream. It's in the name, brother. Martinez isn't a rare last name. She would be a step closer to becoming a doctor. Literally doctors and engineers, chat. That was the one thing that I felt like I had. It was my education. That's the one thing I thought I had that would never be taken away from me. And for that to happen, it was like I was crushed. Damn! You should have become a citizen then, hey! Need to throw a party tonight after work. Yeah, it's like, fuck it, they weren't even here on a visa. They were illegally here. That's crazy that they were given fucking anything. After they heard the news, Marielle's family tried to stay positive. They thought maybe it would take a while for the state to eliminate the program. And I'm also surprised at how fast it worked, because usually government is incredibly slow and inefficient. But in mid-July, university officials asked Marielle for proof of lawful status to keep paying in-state tuition. I'm not considered a Texas resident, so I have nothing. So the university is going to be calling ICE on all of these people here illegally, right? Marielle was born in Mexico, but grew up in Texas. During her first 3 years of college, she paid in-state tuition and could get financial aid through the Texas DREAM Act. She and her family paid about $13,000 a year for her dorm and meals. They have to go back. They have to go back. It's just insane that they were able to get these benefits that should have gone to citizens who live here. And like, now that they're crying about it, people expect you to feel bad about it. But why would you feel bad? She should not have been here. She had years to apply for citizenship, and she decided not to because she got benefits for being illegal. Even that required a big effort, Marielle said. Her parents each worked 2 jobs, but her mom, Mireya, said it was worth it. Their names are very similar. We'd have to limit ourselves, but as long as it was for her education so she could have a better life than us, then we didn't mind, she said. KUT is also only using her first name because of privacy concerns. Get them out. Send them back. With the Texas DREAM Act repealed, Marielle's tuition went from $11,000, which she would pay with financial aid, to $22,500 without financial aid. Good. She should not have been getting a reduced education budget, and she should not have been getting financial aid. If someone who is illegally in the USA uses a government program for education, they should be charged with the total money used plus interest, even when they leave. Yeah, sure, fuck it. Why not? Why not? With living expenses, Marielle's family would have to pay $29,500 a semester. And since she still had a year to go, that meant close to $59,000. The annual income for the family of 6 is about $40,000. Send them back. Not my people, not my problem. They should not be getting any tax dollars. 15 years, didn't think to become a citizen, she can blame herself. I mean, again, why become a citizen if you get all of these benefits for being here illegally? If she had become a citizen, she would have been paying this price from the get-go. She would have still had the access to the in-state tuition, but she wouldn't have had access to the financial aid. Like, what is the incentive? And that's why we not only need mass deportations, we need changes to legislature. Cyclops Productions, thank you for the pounds. You worked in Finland for a few winters and took groups on tours of the Snow Hotel in Illust? Fun place, guests sleeping under pretty ice sculptures. Yeah, it looks like a lot of fucking fun. We were going to get an ice hotel in America. They were starting to build it in Alaska, but due to our building codes, we're not allowed to have a structure that people will spend like nights in. I don't remember exactly how they worded it, if it was like people sleeping there or people spending nights. I don't remember how it was worded, but due to like our fire enforcement code, because they couldn't install fire alarms, the whole thing had to be scrapped. And I was like, how? Like, I get it, right? Like, the fire code is here for a reason, but like, you don't need fire alarms in a building made entirely of snow and ice. Come the fuck on. No fun allowed. Yeah, I remember reading that on stream and just being really fucking mad. Send her family back. That's some tax scam bullshit. Oh, absolutely. Mariel is one of about 57,000 students enrolled in Texas public universities who were affected by the lawsuit ending the Texas DREAM Act. So what you're saying is that that's 57,000 students that can get rounded up by ICE and kicked the fuck out right now? So what you're saying is that ICE has a job to do and we're just reading about it. According to the organization Every Texan in 2021, students without legal status were awarded $10.6 million in financial aid. But the same year, students without legal status were paid $71 million. Sorry, that same year, students without legal status paid $71 million in tuition and other fees. But we don't need them to be paying the reduced money. Why don't we just let Americans into American colleges to pay that money? I gotta just... What are they trying to say? It's okay that the illegals were getting financial aid because they paid a lot more, but those are seats in the university that can go to Americans. Like, what the fuck do you mean? Where's my fucking money? Along with the parents of the kids. Don't forget the parents, true. They can be deported as a family. Phoenix DS, thank you. Why should illegals benefit over natural citizens? Should strike those unlawful illegal benefits from the books. They'll stop the illegal stream. That's what I've been saying. And there are some crazy people who are just like, illegals don't get benefits. It's just a far-right talking point. It's just racism. It's like, I literally read the words on my screen, brother. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Bored DevOps, thank you. What was her plan after college? You can't work a white-collar job without passing a background check? I don't know. And the fact that she was like dual degrees in biology and Spanish, and she was like, my dream is to become a doctor. I wouldn't want this person as my doctor. They came here illegally. They couldn't be honest enough to get a citizenship. They were using tax money as an illegal to get their doctor degree in biology. Why the fuck would I want to see this person? Why would I have any faith in their ability to actually be a good doctor if everything they've done since entering my country is disingenuous? Like, why would I trust them? UT Austin is the second most desirable school in the state. That's a huge number of Texans that were denied the ability to attend. That's crazy. Barbara Hines, the former director of the Texas Law School Immigration Clinic at UT Austin, helped push for the Texas DREAM Act over 20 years ago. She said keeping these families from accessing in-state tuition has repercussions beyond higher education institutions. Fire her. Fire this dumb bitch too. I don't give a shit anymore. If these people are going to argue for illegal migrants to have more access to things than citizens, fucking get them out too. Zero pity anymore. I'm fish tank, man. The gloves are off this season. The business community supported the in-state tuition because it leads to a qualified workforce. Well, I mean, our detector indicated that was a lie, she said. So this is really bad for the community. The Texas Immigration Council estimates the state could lose over $460 million in economic activity every year, $244.4 million in lost wages, and $216.9 million in spending power. Yeah, I'm sure if we deported all of these people and there were no replacements, there would be a loss in money. But it's not, there's not going to be empty seats. People want to go to these colleges. What the fuck do they mean by this?
Intimidating all the radio thieves.
Sorry, I was ranting, so I didn't hear your TTS. Toast Engineer, thank you. They also going to publish an article about DC pawn shop owners upset that they suddenly can't buy car radios to sell at a profit because the National Guard is intimidating all the radio thieves. I mean, fucking probably. We read that weird article a few months back. I want to say it was like in May or June, maybe even earlier than that. I don't remember. Of like people crying about a homeless encampment that was finally like going to get torn down. It's like they were trying to make you feel bad for like a whole bunch of people who shouldn't be here, who can't speak English, like landlords who were running like weird fucking racketeering things where they were just charging exorbitant amounts because the illegals had no other place to like get housing, you know? So I was like, maybe it's a good thing we're getting rid of these like rickshaw villages in the city. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Don't care if it's illegal. We need economic activity. People are actually crazy, bro. Stealing car radios. What are we back in the 2000s now? The group said a college degree increases the earning potential by 57% for students without legal status. You know what the earning potential for students without legal status should be? 0 fucking percent. 0 fucking percent. Get them out of my country. What is this? Why would you want to deny kids who have lived their entire lives the opportunity to go to college? Why would you want to deny kids who have lived their entire lives? These people aren't real. This is not a real person. I too am alive, woman. They're so close, but so far. Derelium, thank you for the 5-month member. But Kirsche, they have 2 degrees. Surely they can safely operate on you. Ain't no way. We're not denying kids the opportunity to go to college. We're changing which kids we give the opportunity to. And the opportunity should always go to American kids first. Always. They are American colleges. Why would anyone else get preference over Americans to get into them? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Bad editing, they meant in the US. Even if they meant, right? Even if we're going to give the editor the benefit of the doubt that they're literally a 40 IQ drooling retard, why would you want to deny kids who have lived, excerpt, in the US their entire lives the opportunity to go to college? Because they're here illegally! They shouldn't be here! They shouldn't be given seats in colleges! They shouldn't be given financial aid! They should have a 0% earning potential! Get them out. What is this? Americans are the only priority of the USA. The world comes third. Allies come second. This kid could have been an American kid, but their parents are trying to game the system and didn't get citizenship. Boo fucking who? Yeah, exactly. I zero sympathy for people trying to game the system. I don't fucking care. You have to go back. Passage of the Texas Dream Act in 2001 was a bipartisan effort backed by Republican Governor Rick Perry. Gross. Then 22 other states and the District of Columbia followed Texas in making college more affordable for students without legal status. Why? Why? Once again, where did this collective psychosis come from? Where did our politicians start prioritizing illegal foreigners over the citizens of their own country? Politicians have not been for the people of this country for so fucking long. Unleash the ice courses, it's time. Neil Lundgren, thank you. If somehow you're still in the country illegally, you deserve nothing and should get nothing, become legal or leave. 1,000%. Advocates worry that just as Texas set a precedent to pass the law, other states may soon follow in taking away in-state tuition. So far, the federal administration has filed lawsuits against Kentucky, Minnesota, and Oklahoma. Immigrant groups, students, and higher education institutions like Austin Community College have tried fighting the decision in Texas courts. But so far, their efforts have not been successful. Mariel is the only child in her family who is not a U.S. citizen. So they got citizenship for the other kids, but you decided you wanted to game the system, and so you didn't get citizenship. She was brought to the US when she was 14. Her parents wanted her to have more opportunities. But now Maria said she sometimes feels guilty. You should feel guilty! What the fuck? I was the one that brought her here. She didn't decide to come. She's not guilty of anything. For her, this is her world. Then she should have become a fucking citizen, shouldn't she have? 2 weeks before classes started, Maria and her husband decided their daughter's dreams couldn't be taken away just like that. They had worked too hard to get where they are now, so they took out a $15,000 loan from a family friend. Advocates don't know how many students were unable to pay out-of-state tuition and had to drop out. Even though she's back in school, Mariel had to make some adjustments. She dropped her Spanish degree and is trying to finish her biology degree in the fall semester by taking 8 classes. I have mixed feelings. I'm happy to be back and to be able to finish my degree, she said, but I feel a lot of guilt for making my parents pay that much. But you don't feel any guilt for taking taxpayer money in the form of financial aid? You don't feel any guilt for using money of American citizens to go to college in America when you refuse to become a citizen? Like, I don't... Imagine. Her mother took on a 3rd job cleaning offices, and her dad, who does landscaping, has also increased his work hours. I've told my husband I won't be happy until my girl can achieve the dreams we have in mind. Until then, I won't be at peace. Mariel is hoping things will change and she'll be able to go to a medical school in Texas. If not, she's considered getting her degree in Mexico, a country she hasn't been to in almost 2 decades. Well, good. Go to Mexico and get your degree. I encourage this. Of course not, Kirsche. Stealing from the US was the plan. Why would she feel guilty about them? It's all so tiresome, chat. It's all so fucking tiresome. Mother does cleaning, dad does landscaping. Ain't no way! This is infuriating. You're barely afloat paying for school and these people just get that for free. Imagine getting financial aid because you're not a citizen. That's crazy. I thought they said she moved when she was 14. I think it said her mom brought her here when she was 14 months. I think it was 14 months. Yeah. Mariel's the only child in her family who's not a US citizen. She was brought to the US when she was 14 months old. F? Red square? Yeah, we're fucking red squaring, brother. We're red squaring. Thanks, I hate it. Oh no, you have to pay the same amount as everybody else. The travesty! Behold the field upon which I grow my fucks and see that it is barren. True. From the UK, you can copy paste this argument for the mess over here. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Like, the UK is fucking in a really bad place right now, but it's not like America's that far behind. Patchouli, thank you. You haven't been to Mexico in 20 years? Good! This is a great time for you to experience your homeland. Get out. True. True and real. All illegals should have their degrees and credentials revoked. They get nothing. That would be beautiful. That would be wonderful. If, like, everyone who is here illegally has, like, their credentials redlined. Oh, I don't think we would ever do that because it would cause so much crying. But yeah, I'd be for that. There are US-born people who have had infinitely harder lives who deserve the assistance more. No, you have privilege, bro. Get over it. UK has been in a really bad place. Just the Romans left. You're lurking, but that Foxfield joke cut you out of it. That was from my super chat. Millennia. Phoenix DS, thank you for the Canadians. She sounds like a criminal, not sorry for stealing from taxpayers, but feels sorry that her family has to pay. Boo-hoo. Be still, my dead beating heart. True. And that reminds me. Where is it? Where is it? I had a...
Eine Moment. Eine Moment. Oh, mama.
Okay, I guess it must have just been... Oh, no, yeah. I was gonna say, I thought I had a tab on fucking that stupid illegal that we somehow can't get rid of because he's become a pet of the political apparatus. Abrego Garcia asks for a gag order on Pam Bondi and Kristi Noem. How can you even ask for that? I don't understand. Sergeant Buck, thank you. Hold on, the Spanish speaker is here to get a degree in Spanish. I mean, yeah. Yeah, why not? I mean, if you're not having to pay a ton of money because you're getting financial aid on the taxpayer dime, why the fuck not, you know? I think if we didn't give financial aid for certain types of degrees, we would see a lot less people getting useless ones. Like that guy who was getting a degree in, like, oh god, what was it? It was like African American literature of the Appalachians or something. I was like, why do you need a degree for that, my brother? Literal free degree. So this Garcia guy, attorneys for Kilmar Abrego Garcia are asking a federal judge to issue a gag order against Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem and Attorney General Pam Bondi to bar them from making baseless public attacks against the Salvadorian national who was wrongfully deported. I don't think he was wrongfully deported, brother. To El Salvador earlier this year. Abrego Garcia's lawyers said in a Thursday motion filed in the U.S. District Court for the Middle District of Tennessee that Trump administration officials...
And say we aren't winning. We are winning. The left is on the back foot. Dipshits like Starbuck want us to believe we've won and don't need to press our advantage. We aren't losing though, and we aren't out of the fight.
Yeah. That's why I say it's important to actually notice which wins are tangible and celebrate the real wins, because those are going to be solidified and those are going to stick. But don't claim things that aren't real wins are wins, especially with like the morale excuse. Because like the morale excuse goes out the window. If too many people believe like, oh, we've already won these battles, they're going to stop paying attention. And that's going to be the biggest issue. No way, there's a degree that's that specific. Yeah, it's crazy. It was a guy who was on an episode of Financial Audit who had that degree. Thank you. Thank you, motherfucking brave SJ, my guy. Thank you. That Trump administration officials have targeted their client since he was released from prison, leveling highly prejudicial, inflammatory, and false statements. To safeguard his right to a fair trial, Mr. Abrego respectfully renews his earlier requests that the court order that all DOJ and DHS officials involved in this case, and all officials in their supervisory chain, including Bondi and Noem, refrain from making extrajudicial comments that pose a substantial likelihood of materially prejudicing the proceeding.
I'm a spaghetti-o.
The attorneys said in a 15-page motion to the U.S. District Judge Waverly Crenshaw. Noem has accused Abrego Garcia, who entered the U.S. illegally, of being associated with the Salvadorian gang MS-13. His lawyers have denied the accusation. Wasn't there reasoning for why he had to be sent back from El Salvador? Because he feared for his life while there? Okay. He doesn't belong here. He won't be staying here. America is a safer nation without this MS-13 gangbanger in it. The Department of Homeland Security said of Abrego Garcia in a post on social media Monday. Garcia was arrested earlier this week by Immigration and Customs Enforcement in Baltimore, days after he was released from custody in a criminal case in Tennessee. After being deported to a notorious mega prison in El Salvador in March, he was brought back to the U.S. to face human smuggling charges following a traffic stop in 2022. I would have just been like, you know what? You can just add that onto his sentence down there. Just keep him in the mega prison, bro. Your Honor, I plead nuh-uh. Following detention by ICE, Garcia's attorneys were informed that the Salvadorian national could be deported to Uganda. U.S. District Judge Paula Zinnis said Monday the administration is absolutely forbidden from removing him until a hearing can be held to weigh if the Trump administration would let him challenge the removal to a third world country. Chat, is El Salvador not a third world country? Is El Salvador not third world? Is El Salvador third world? While third world is an outdated term rooted in the Cold War, fuck you, AI, El Salvador historically fits the description due to its non-aligned status and characteristics like economic challenges and high crime rates. Alright, so El Salvador is also a third world country. So, what the fuck are you trying to argue? He's from El Salvador. So what the fuck do they mean by this? They really cleaned up lately? They've improved by the nature of said mega prison? The Phoenix DS, thank you for the Canadians. Illegals should have no rights to a fair trial. They illegally entered. Too bad. Volcano sacrifices are a thing of the past. I'd propose legislation to just throw illegals in the volcano if they don't self-deport. You know, it'd probably save tax money in the long run.
Oh no, I can't stop suckling on the sweet, supple, juicy, bulging teat of the American taxpayer. Wah wah wah. Stop fucking crying, bitch. I don't wanna fucking hear IT.
I don't think people quite realize how fed up the majority are with this kind of thing. Hidden, thank you, my guy. Thank you for the brevity. The same, less resources spent. Put them in the Yellowstone acid hot springs. If Kilmar Abrego Garcia did not want to be mentioned by the Secretary of Homeland Security, then he should not have entered our country illegally and committed heinous crimes, a DHS official told The Hill on Friday morning. Once again, the media is falling all over themselves to defend this criminal, illegal MS-13 gang member who is an alleged human trafficker, domestic abuser, and child predator. The DHS official continued. The media's sympathetic narrative about this criminal illegal alien has completely fallen apart, and yet they continue to peddle his sob story. They added, "We hear far too much about gang members and criminals, false sob stories, and not enough about their victims." The Justice Department declined to comment. Once again, they just enjoy protecting criminals. They don't give a shit about normal people. Why they protect criminals? I couldn't tell you. I'm not insane, all right? I'm a little fucking retarded, but I'm not insane, you know? Like, mildly OCD, thank you. But some people don't get is that we'd still say send them back even if it was Brits or Franks, but because that's not who are getting free handouts, they get to play dumb and call us racist? 1,000%. I've said the same thing. Like, I don't give a shit where someone's from. If they're here illegally, they have to go back. Criminals have no right to vote and are easy to control. Ooh. Hold on a second. I have a fucking tweet for that, brother. I have a tweet for that. Did I quote tweet it or not? I don't think I did. I think I quote tweeted it, but fucking this bitch. He said the quiet part out loud, brother. You're our mildly retarded Foxu. Ayyy.
In LA, do you think ICE is not going to show up around voting and polling booths to chill participation? You know that. The National Guard, you know that. Everybody knows what's at stake, so we have to put a stake in the ground and do things differently. In LA,
it's going to be a problem if ICE comes to the polling booths, eh? Are you saying the thing that never happens and the thing that is a far-right conspiracy is something you're worried about? You saying you're worried the illegals won't get to vote for you? Is that what you're saying? Wow, I'm so shocked. I'm so shocked. What a twist. Because voter ID is going to happen after all, even if indirectly. I just don't understand how we are a first world country that doesn't require voter ID. And I don't know how so many people have been brainwashed into thinking that voter ID is racist. Like, I remember like a decade ago, those like on the street reporters going around like, you know, heavily black neighborhoods being like, do you have an ID? And everyone's like, yeah, of course I do. What the fuck do you mean? I was like, it's so racist where they're just like, oh, black people don't know how to get IDs. They don't know how to go to the polls. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. They're not actual animals. They're humans with brains and the ability to think. There isn't actually a quiet part. There's just the parts they shout from the mountains and then deny they say it when pressed. Yeah, it's insane. How can you vote in the US without a proper ID? I don't know. I have no idea how that's allowed. I have no idea. Oh my god. What else do I have in these tabs here? What else is in these tabs? Oh, I guess a little update on things going on in Illinois for a second here. I don't know who this fat little guy is. Governor J.B. Pritzker. What a name. What a name. It's like fat little Oompa Loompa. Little extra from Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Our leaders in Washington could learn a thing or two from some of the best elementary schools here in Illinois.
Hi, I'm here at Wagner Elementary. I just got to meet with a group of kindergartners and second graders, and they are really smart kids.
You know, it's probably about the same intelligence as the people that voted for this guy, so that's why he's praising them.
And it was great to spend time with them. They get to learn every day about these classroom rules, and they follow them. And I have to say there are a few in here I think the leaders in Washington ought to learn, like, for example, listen carefully, maybe treat each other with respect, and of course, make good decisions. I wish more leaders in Washington would do that.
You know, actually, I agree with him. I wish more leaders in Washington would listen carefully. Because if they did listen carefully, they might notice quite how deep the Marxist subversion of language goes. And I agree with him there, but we had Libs of TikTok here tweet out, not a single student can read at grade level in 30 Illinois schools. That's really funny. School spending per student seems like it varies between 56,300 is the highest number I see here, and the lowest being 5,929. And number of students who are reading proficient, zeros all the way fucking down, brother. Classic. You grew up in Illinois, and boy, those schools are shit. Holy shit, that's even more than they're spending in New York. That's crazy. $56,000? City of Chicago, the Douglas Academy High School. That's crazy. That's a lot of money, bro. How do you fuck up that bad? Zero smart kids. I mean, I don't know if Illinois has any law about this, but like, or not law, but just a policy. Because we've seen other schools either reduce or eliminate like reading and math and science proficiencies so that they can pass more students who probably shouldn't be passed. Fiesta Cat, thank you. Wait, we're letting the Kirsches vote, not eating them. Please do not let Kirsches vote. They're not smart enough to handle it. How do you not even accidentally to teach them to read and I don't know. I have no idea how you're in high school and you're not reading proficient. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. Not even one nerd. I don't know how they do it. Pritzker's replies are now just flooded with this chart. Keep posting it. Is it? How does Illinois rank nationally on NAEP math test scores for 4th graders? Oh boy. Based on the latest 2024 NAEP data, Illinois' average 4th grade math score is 236. Not significantly different from the national average of 237. Its score is lower than in 9 jurisdictions, higher than in 6, and comparable to 36 others. 38% of students scored at or above proficient versus national, 39%. How do the math scores of 4th graders in Chicago compare to the national average? That's the same question. He just said the same thing. 50K per student? Do they get private tutors? That's a great question. That's a great question. You're almost as retarded and useless as Gavin Newsom. My dad's girlfriend was praising Gavin Newsom the other day, and I was very confused. I was very confused and sad. And I was like, her hatred of guns makes more sense now. If you want to know how far the rot goes, look at 735 ILCS 52101.5. There's too many numbers. I have no idea what you're trying to tell me. It's me. I'm the math inproficient. Pritzker can fuck right off. Oh, in regards to that Abrasio Garcia, sorry, Stray Wolf, I didn't mean to break this up. I just forgot that I had this. I have a short little video here.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. On Kilmar over in Garcia, could you just speak a little bit about the administration's decision to keep him in ICE detention, you know, taking up a bed when he's already on the U.S. Marshals monitoring service because of the criminal trial? And also, if you could speak to the decision to, or the plan to deport him to Uganda. The judge in the immigration case, I should say, raised concerns about coercion with that in a hearing earlier this week.
Why would it be coercion to send somebody to Uganda?
They said it was possible coercion. They didn't make.
No, I'm just yes. It was a rhetorical question, which I'll address. But so first of all, this is the issue with crazy liberal judges everywhere: is people who are a clear flight risk, a clear threat to public safety, get released over and over and over again. We see that here in Washington D.C., not in the immigration context, but you see individuals all the time who are charged with extremely serious crimes. They are released on their own recognizance, and they go on to commit robbery, muggings, carjackings, murder. I mean, I've seen example after example of extremely serious felony, including homicides, where the individual would have been in jail but for the fact that they were released by a judge. Obviously, the U.S. government, with someone who is an extreme flight and public safety risk, like Garcia, we are not going to allow them to be on the street where they can engage. I mean, this is someone, as you know, who's not only a member of a terrorist organization, who's not only been accused of battery, but who's been accused of grave crimes against children. This is not someone we're going to allow to be out on the street. Now, so the point about Uganda, you just have to marvel at this. The same left-wing NGOs who tell us that we should open our borders to all the poor countries of the world also tell us that it would be unfair, improper to have anybody live in those countries. Well, if those countries don't have good systems of law and good systems of governance, then why would we want to have open migration from those countries? So these two propositions are in complete conflict. But more fundamentally, remember, Garcia has said he doesn't want to go back home to El Salvador. That's what he said. So we're honoring that request by providing him with an alternate place to live. We're not a travel booking agency. True. It's not our job to say to illegal alien terrorists, pick your favorite destination in the world and we'll send you a charter jet there. We have countries that have very graciously agreed to help resettle nationals from other countries, which is a great benefit to the United States. And obviously that's something that Garcia is eligible for.
Stephen, the French president.
That's a great response. I love what he says, but I hate how he says it. His inflection drives me fucking wild. I also think that it was really funny when he said, like, they're not a travel booking agency, and also pointing out the hypocrisy of the Democrats who are saying simultaneously that these third world countries, we need unfettered migration from them. We don't need to know who is coming from these countries, but also that it is inhumane to put illegal criminals into these countries. I'm sorry, Chet. Send him to India. True. Your favorite part is when Miller said it's deporting time and deported all over the place. True and real. I'd watch that movie. It's a bit of monotone robot. No, he has that like upward inflection of Valley Girls, but instead of having the Valley Girl accent, it's monotone, right? So instead of the like, actually, I'm not going to date you unless you're like over 6 feet tall. It's like, yeah, I'm going to deport you, like whether you want to be deported or not. That's just like my job, man. He has YouTuber voice. He knows he has to be extremely careful with his words because the media will try to twist it. Yeah, no. Like, again, I love what he's saying, but his inflection was just, it was making me giggle. Japanese demon lord Abrere Lucifer, thank you. Trump is culturally enriching Uganda. What's wrong with that? I thought that was a good thing. And the cultural enrichment will continue. It's like the Clear Eyes guy was a Valley girl. True. I'm gonna deport you if you're not, like, 6 feet tall? Doesn't Uganda also need flair? We will show them the way.
Millennia.
Patchouli, thank you. Going to Uganda. Does Kilmar know the way? I love that meme, man. Fiesta Cat, thank you. Gavin Newsom looks like a Batman villain. He does. He looks like a Batman villain. Number 15, Burger King foot lettuce. Why? Why? Here's another thing from American truckers. Thank you, American truckers. Non-citizens are using hidden cameras and earpieces to cheat commercial driver's license exams. Wow.
Now we have an exclusive look into a criminal investigation about just that. We've obtained documents about 5 people arrested in Jacksonville. We're showing only the face of the man already convicted. The charges? Felonies. Cheating to get their CDL, commercial driver's license, to drive a truck. Do the men arrested speak English? On the arrest reports, take a look. All requested
Turkish, Ukrainian, Turkish. What the hell?
The arrests fall under the Bureau of Criminal Investigations and Intelligence from the Florida Highway Patrol. It's complex?
This is a very elaborate case. It is.
Sergeant Dylan Bryan with FHP says there is now an investigation statewide across Florida. Dozens and dozens of cases, he says. And the cheating scheme centered in Jacksonville.
Put your phone down. All right. Stand up for me.
You're watching now a body camera from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office of an arrest made inside the DMV on Roosevelt. One man arrested, Vladislav Urashik, found guilty of 2 felonies, sent to jail in April for 8 months. Brian calls him above entry level, but not the mastermind. So you're looking for the kingpin?
Always.
Kingpin.
So how does FHP say this cheating scheme works?
We were shocked to see the extent that they were going to.
Brian calls it organized fraud.
That's
According
crazy.
To investigators, the men went in here, the DMV on Roosevelt, to take the CDL test to drive a truck. But they are rigged up with equipment to get their answers.
And you see the actual apparatus that he's wearing.
What the
chest
fuck?
harness that actually holds the phone.
Why go through so much effort to cheat when you could just learn how to do it and be good at your job? Like, this is baffling to me. Wouldn't you want to actually know what the fuck you're doing? What? The spy, bruh.
A red iPhone in the harness, and under a t-shirt, you see the hole right there? So he comes in this t-shirt with a hole cut in it.
Yes.
Now watch this. In a video we've obtained from the DMV, this man opening his shirt. Brian says it's kind of like FaceTime. The men sit in front of a computer and wiggle around.
Their body language is abnormal.
Until somebody outside in a parking lot can read the test questions on the screen in English and then tell them through this earpiece in their language. Employees at the DMV got suspicious.
Most people don't start to disrobe when they take a DL test.
Sorry, I can't take a test unless I'm completely naked, actually. That's how I'm most comfortable. Red Square hate. Fuck you, Red Square! Fuck you, Red Square. Why is it attacking me today? At least when I go to Side Scrollers Plus, my Red Square won't fucking matter, bro. Let me check for answers. Google, help me out, bruv. Man. It's like, that's just... Why? Why would you think you're capable of doing this when you can't even speak our language? And this is why, like, I don't give a shit anymore, right? Like, when it's just like, if you're in America, you should speak English, and some smug asshole is always like, well, English isn't actually the official language of the United States. We don't have an official language. I don't give a fuck. It's the language everyone fucking speaks. It's the language all of our signs are in until so many illegals surged into our country that they decided to put Spanish as a second option on everything. Holy fuck. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it, man. Raiders of the Lost Shark, thank you. Please tell me this is an old The Onion video. Nope, unfortunately I cannot give you that happiness.
In their shirts.
They are, indeed.
So, the 5 men arrested so far, that's just the tip of the iceberg?
It is.
This is happening all over the country. Maybe from Jacksonville we can make a difference.
And I certainly fucking hope so, because if you can't speak English and you have to cheat to pass the driving exam, you shouldn't be having that license, man. English is the language the laws are written in. It is. It is. And I'm pretty sure Trump did an executive order that makes English our official language now. You know, and I'm sure the rationale will be, oh, that's just an executive order, that doesn't count. We still don't have an official language, right? Which is why I'm saying a lot of these executive orders that Trump is doing, they need to just be made into law. They need to just be made into law. You need to hear more of the objection voice. It's hilarious. Alejandro Trombono, thank you. This grinds your gears so bad you busted your ass to get your CDL. A Class C at that, but then these dudes get to piss on it? Yeah. Like, the actual truckers out there, not just the ones who are, like, in love with their trucks, but the ones who actually do a good job regardless of how much they love the job. It's just like, it fucking shits all over them and the effort they put into learning how to be a good driver. Hillis Mallory, thank you. The official second language is French. There's a torch-wielding lady holding a book that says so. I like the torches. Internet Zen Master, thank you. Thank you. The shipping guy here. You had a bunch of Eastern Europeans, Russians, and Ukrainians who were working in trucking in the Seattle area when you worked receiving and departures. They had thick accents and sometimes had to repeat themselves, but they spoke English, damn it. I don't give a shit how thick your accent is. If you're speaking English, I will do my best to understand you, bro. It's like, if you're in my country, I don't care how thick your accent is. If you're speaking English, I appreciate it. That's why it's like, when I go to foreign countries, even as like a visitor, even as someone there temporarily for a couple of weeks, I want to speak some semblance of their language. Because I feel like, as an American, if I go to a different country, regardless of how much they teach English or like how widespread English is, I feel like it's very self-centered to be able to expect everyone in a foreign country to speak English well. And I feel like when I go to a foreign country, if I attempt to speak their language, even if my accent and pronunciation is bad, they will appreciate the fact that I am at least trying, you know? Need a Kirsche Statue of Liberty model. Americanist may be the worst accent. Oh, brother. I visit Finland. You will teach Finnish swear words. Could solve 95% of the cheating opportunity by building a radio isolation room in a government building where only in or out for data in the computer terminal. No more radio wave cheating. That's like, when I worked insurance, we worked in clean rooms. So a clean room environment is like, you have very strict rules you have to abide by for what is allowed in the room and out of the room. So like, there's probably like 30 plus cameras all over the ceiling. And like every single, there weren't real cubicles because we had short walls, but like every single computer area had a camera above it, and then there were extra cameras. And I couldn't bring in something to drink out of unless it was 100% clear. I couldn't bring in anything to eat out of unless it was 100% clear. So like I could bring in a Tupperware container filled with crackers, but if I brought the lid in, because lids on Tupperware containers aren't fully transparent, they're sometimes semi-transparent or fully opaque, I wouldn't be able to bring that lid in. Because like I could do something nefarious with it. You were not allowed to bring cell phones in unless you were upper management. So like anyone who brought their phone in would get written up to management. Like, you had so many rules you had to abide by. And it's like, why don't we just do something like that for these important tests? You don't even have to go that far. Just have someone standing over the tester's shoulder. Well, then you have to pay that person, you know? The camera makes it easier. Even though, yes, Swift drivers are some wild drivers. Clean rooms should be standard. Yeah, she's got Pringles, take her down. I think my favorite story of, like, weird shit that happened in clean rooms because people hated how strict the rules were, where you weren't allowed to bring in messy foods to the clean room, right? So you couldn't eat like, God, what's messy? I mean, nobody cared if you brought in fish. They just didn't like it because it was stinky, but it wasn't messy. Yeah, like spaghetti. Like, you couldn't bring in spaghetti and eat that. You couldn't bring in, like, barbecue wings. You couldn't bring in, like, Sloppy Joe. Any Indian. You probably couldn't eat curry, right? Because it's messy. So there was one lady who put a bunch of barbecue chicken wings in like Ziploc bags, and she had massive tits. So she stuck the Ziploc bags inside of her bra and would eat the barbecue chicken wings out of the Ziploc bags in her bra, because otherwise she wouldn't have been able to bring the chicken wings into the clean room. Yeah, the barbecue lady. We got the titty pockets, man. I was like, I can't even be mad. That's kind of innovative. Dedication to the sauce, man. Like Clay Ben Treese Jr., thank you. Tectone's gone on break. Prayers to him. I saw that tweet just before I went live, and I was like, oh, fuck, man. You know, like, from talking to him recently, I wouldn't have figured anything was wrong, but, you know, men keep up that big shield, right? So it's like, I feel bad for the dude. I hope everything will be okay. I hope he won't take a super long break, but I hope the break will be what he needs to get his head in order. John in English, thank you. A woman after my own heart. Good lord. What else is in the tabs today? What else have I got going here? Oh yeah, there was another JD Vance thingy. A thingy. Simply need to strip search them and issue jumpsuits. Oh god. My brain. JD Vance just confirmed there are as many as 40 million illegals in America, and they got housing. This drove up the cost of our homes and our rent. And then I think this is just transcribing what the video is, so I'll just let this play.
Housing gets so unaffordable for American citizens. Two big problems. Number one, I already talked about, interest rates were too high. Number two, you had way too many people in this country who were competing against American citizens for scarce homes. And that's the illegal immigration problem. Why has housing leveled off over the past 6 months? I really believe the main driver is you've had negative net migration into the United States for the first time in 60 years in this country. You cannot flood the United States of America with 20, 30, 40 million people who have no legal right to be here, have them compete against young American families for homes and not expect the price to skyrocket.
Absolutely.
It's as simple as supply and demand. You increase the demand, you're going to increase the price. Why did housing...
And this is something I've been saying ever since I started looking for a house. And in the area that I'm looking in New England, I don't expect prices to fall too crazily. I expect there to be a bit of a price fall, because there are definitely some houses that are fucking priced at a ridiculous angle. But I expect this to be felt in other areas way more than in New England, because New England was already expensive even without the illegal immigration problem. Not the corporations buying up homes or Airbnb. Yeah, I mean, the illegal immigration is making it an issue for newer and younger families to break into the market and buy starter homes. The corporations buying up stuff is an additional problem that factors into that. But I think the corporation is a bit more insidious than just outpricing first-time home buyers. And I've talked about this with New England as well, where there are so many properties that get bought and then transformed into multifamily rentals. And it feels like New England had been heading towards the people who live there won't be able to buy homes. It will just be an area of the country that is like permanent rental. You will own nothing. Chinese National probably shipped all the code to the CCP too. What? Did I see the H-1B worker ran away with $7 million from selling stock and uploaded Grok's entire AI code to OpenAI? No, I did not see that. He shouldn't only be sued by XAI as it's happening, but arrested and tried for spying. Imagine. You'll own nothing and be happy, chat, in that area. It's like, I gotta get in. I gotta get in and buy land and get a house in New England before it becomes giga hard. This is why you're banking on inheriting your parents' home eventually. They told you they would at least. I hope so. Fiesta Cat, thank you. BlackRock buying homes to rent to illegals. Thanks, I hate it. And there was another... Where is it? There was another tweet that I had. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. This should be helpful as well. Scott Turner said, HUD is English only. Last week, we sent out a directive to HUD staff that English will be the sole language for business at the department. Since then, we've removed 1,342 pages and documents using foreign languages, including Spanish, Russian, Chinese, Arabic, Farsi, Korean, Somali, and many more. And this was the HUD is English only screenshots here. You have Espanol, Italiano, Deutsch, Francais, English. And then you can see that this page is in Espanol. And now it's just in English with no options to change it to the other languages. Thank you, U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. When you realize just how bad the H-1B visa program is fucking over America. It's pretty rough, man. You buy your first house and then you have kids and then have your kids grow up and buy their neighbor's house. And now you can make your house bigger. What the heck? Somali, huh? Do they need to negotiate with pirates? Yeah, I don't know why the fuck there's Somali language here. I don't know. That's just it's a really nice little happy note. You know, nothing crazy to talk about here. Just like, hey, yeah, English. Speak it if you want to live here. And in New Hampshire news, somewhat related. My browser's struggling to load here for some reason. Do 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 do. Do, 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 do. So, Mr. Travis, the New Hampshire politician we had a brief interaction with, back in June, he said, defunding the New Hampshire DHSS Office of Refugee Resettlement. We don't need to be spending tax dollars to bring low human capital foreigners to New Hampshire and put them on public assistance. Keep New Hampshire great. And then the other day, Jeremy Kaufman retweeted that from June and said, just gave a strong pitch to support Travis's proposal to end refugee resettlement in New Hampshire to a room of state reps and liberty activists. Together, we will end the importation of foreign socialists to New Hampshire in 2026. Fucking based, man. I hope when I find a home, it'll be in New Hampshire so I can vote for people like this, you know? For English, press 1. For any other languages, please hang up. If I ever called a customer support number and I heard that, I would know that I am definitely giving my money to the correct company. Why was that ever a thing? Why was that ever a thing in any state? Yeah, that's a great question. Travis is a good soul, rare to see in politics. I'm gonna have so much fun when I get out to New England again, man. Askill, thank you for the Canucks. What did the Faroe Islands do? And to the chickens, thank you. Legal to the laws of supply and demand. Don't care. What do you mean by this? What do you mean by this? Where did New Hampshire get the room to import foreigners? New Hampshire has a lot of land. And New Hampshire's actually relatively affordable the farther north you go from Manchester. So like the farther north you go along like Canada's borders or like Vermont's borders to the west, the more affordable New Hampshire becomes. And it's more like a Midwest state in affordability. But the closer you get to like Maine or southern New Hampshire, the more expensive it is. So I would imagine that there are people who are trying to use up some of that area. All good things for your Foxu himbo, hell yeah. Use your comprehensive refugee resettlement plan, go back to where you came from. And this article lives rent-free in my head. I read it on stream before, but this is from 2018. This is from 2018. Oh, fuck you, New York Times. I have to go to archive site. Hold on. Mom. It's been archived like 7 trillion fucking times. So the New York Times in 2018 published this article. New Hampshire is 94% white. How do you diversify a whole state? I think my question is, why are you framing this as a bad thing? Why does it matter? Like, just let them exist, man. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Catalina Celentano used to hold training sessions for hospital workers in Lynn, Mass. to familiarize them with the cultures of patients from Cambodia, Russia, and the Dominican Republic. When she moved to New Hampshire, she suddenly found herself in an ethnic vacuum. I went from being able to speak Spanish every day to not speaking Spanish at all because there wasn't anybody to speak Spanish to, said Mrs. Celentano, who was born in Colombia to a Colombian mother and a Hungarian father. The only person that spoke Spanish, or I spoke Spanish with, was a cleaning lady, and she moved back to Colombia. New Hampshire, like its neighbors Vermont and Maine, is nearly all white. This has posed an array of problems for new arrivals, who often find themselves isolated and alone without the comfort and support of a built-in community. It has also posed problems for employers in these states who find that their homogeneity can be a barrier to recruiting and retaining workers of different ethnicities and cultural backgrounds. Man, who would have guessed it was a masshole Karen who complains about not being able to speak English in an English majority nation? Imagine! Imagine! The issue prompted about 100 business leaders, government officials, and members of nonprofit organizations to meet Thursday to search for ways that New Hampshire, which is 94% white, might lure other racial and ethnic groups as well as younger people. Well, if you want to lure younger people, it's got to be a bit affordable, right? Which is like basically the price margin here. But you don't really need to lure anyone. If they want to come to New Hampshire, they will. If they don't, they'll go somewhere else. I don't think New Hampshire's having any issues with population at the moment. Why do you need to lure other groups? Yep. Yep. And also, hey, by the way, that thing that's not happening and you're a racist if you mention it, with non-whites poised to make up a majority of the American population in the next 3 decades, he said, diversity has become a bottom-line imperative for companies competing for talent, especially for workers who can speak other languages. As it stands, New Hampshire is 3% Latino, 2% African American, and 3% Asian, according to the census, with some people identifying as more than one race. The nation as a whole is 17% Latino, 14% African American, and 6% Asian. You know? How old is this article? 2018. I'll post the link in chat, but it's a 2018 article. I'm not gonna read the whole thing because I've read it on stream before, so it would just be looping. It would be mega looping. How do you diversify a state? Omni-Man? That's the neat part. You don't. Why force diversify if you admit it's gonna happen anyways? Because these people are crazy. They just like invent problems that aren't real. They want low-wage workers. They can profit to the moon. Fucking probably. I mean, that's what Keir Starmer said, so. You remember when we shamed because our ancestors took over a nation we weren't native to? Now we're the natives, and it's good that the natives are being conquered. It's all about revenge, brother. And then I think I had something else kind of related. Oh yeah, here we go. Meanwhile, Democrats in Deerfield, New Hampshire, are going to hold anti-ICE training. I would blur out numbers and names, but they posted this publicly, and they at the New Hampshire GOP and the New Hampshire House GOP. And this is a flyer that says civics program, active bystander, know your rights training. All are welcome to participate in a community active bystander training in de-escalating situations that require a calming, non-violent presence. This program is designed to help you know how to safely intervene if needed to aid a person who may be treated by public acts of hate, or harassment. Know Your Rights training covers the 4th and 5th Amendment rights listed in the U.S. Constitution. How do these rights apply to people who are at risk of deportation? Hot take, once again, I don't think the U.S. Constitution should apply to anyone here illegally. This training will also teach us how to recognize a legal arrest warrant and what to do when in contact with an ICE officer. The civics program is being presented by Granite State Organizing Project on September 10th, 2025. It's going to be at the Deerfield Town Hall. Refreshments will be served. So now they only care about the Constitution insofar as they can use it against you because they know it will work if they use it against you. If they could, they would just tear up the entire thing, but they know that they can't. They just know that it is an effective tool because you are someone who likes to live by your principles as much as you possibly can. And allowing these people to subvert and use your principles against you ensures you will always lose. Unfortunately. Repeat after me. Am I being detained? Hopefully we can get a lot more sovereign citizen videos out of this at least. I fucking love watching those, man. Maybe ICE should show up with their own table and explain how to safely turn people in who are here illegally. That'd be great. That'd be great. The Constitution only applies to people that are here legally and has not overstayed their visa. If you came here illegally or overstayed your visa, the Constitution doesn't cover you. Which, yeah, I've been told this every time I bring it up, but for some reason we still allow illegals to use the constitutional protections. I don't know, man. Like, at what point do you realize the corruption is so set in that it doesn't matter if it actually is the case that the Constitution doesn't apply to them? Democrats keep making it so anyways. No rights. Police need to just start saying yes when someone asks that. Yep. Patchouli, thank you. How do these rights apply to people at risk of deportation? That's the neat part. They don't. Eskill, thank you for the Canuck. Free food! I love free food! Sadly, the 14th Amendment says any person, not citizen. Courts have consistently interpreted this to mean that even undocumented immigrants have constitutional protections. Which again, would not that be activist judges? ICE should really just do that. Serve iced tea and ice cream just for extra icy fun. That would be pretty fucking funny. There is some insane crap that's happening in Canada. I mean, I can only imagine. It's Canada, the land of, are you sick? Have you thought about killing yourself? You know?
No.
Oh, here's another light in the dark, alright? Bad thing happened, but, as I've been saying, you have recourse if you've been discriminated against, dear chatters. Shell fired white staffers at Houston offices for weaker diverse hires in a discriminatory purge, lawsuit claims. Oil giant Shell USA allegedly ousted all of the white employees from its corporate security team in Houston, replacing them with less qualified people of color in what amounted to a discriminatory purge, according to a bombshell lawsuit. Kevin Taylor and Gulf War veteran Michelle Romack, who are both white, claim they were booted from their jobs earlier this year, despite each having more than a decade of relevant experience at Shell, according to the lawsuit filed in the U.S. Southern District of Texas on Tuesday. They're suing Shell and Wayne Hunt, a regional security manager, alleging they participated in a discriminatory restructuring under DEI mandates that violate civil rights laws. Shell did not respond to the post request for comment. Of course not. In January, Hunt announced an upcoming reorganization and required all of the white employees on the team to reapply for their current roles, though non-white team members were not required to submit applications, according to the lawsuit. And this is why it's really important to have a man on the inside. I'm sure like they all talked, and then once they were fired, they had to get information from someone who still worked there, who was willing to help them push forward this lawsuit. If anyone has ever done you wrong, make sure you have an informant. At the time, Hunt told Taylor that he had to resubmit for his current job because others had expressed interest, and Shell was looking to diversify the talent, the suit alleged. Quick, get those whites out of here, true and real. Eskill, thank you for the knock. You guess ice brings the whole new meaning to put icing on the cake. Oh god, I love icing. I love it. Race-based discrimination in the open, no biggie. I mean, they've been doing it for so long. Like, why wouldn't they feel emboldened to just do it this blatantly, right? I mean, how long was affirmative action just standard and, like, nobody questioned it? DEI, discrimination, exclusion, incrimination. Exactly. Exactly. Ed Song, thank you. Did I hear that the lefties got hoaxed into believing Donald had kicked the bucket? If they spread the rumor and you were the Don, you would like the full term just out of spite. I don't know what you mean by this. I mean, I saw people speculating that there was something wrong with him because of, like, a patch of cream or some shit on his hand. And then JD Vance was like, yeah, you know, if something were to happen, I feel like I'd be ready to be president. And everyone's like, oh my god, he's dying! How about we crush their nuts legally? True. True and real. I love that they brought a lawsuit against the company, man. I love seeing this. And I hope we get updates in an expedited manner. He's playing golf. Amunya, munya, munya. At the time, Hunt told Taylor that he had to resubmit for his current job because others had expressed interest, and Shell was looking to diversify the talent, the suit alleged. High-level security roles were then given to a Hispanic woman who had a background as an administrative assistant, and a black man with no background in protecting people or assets, according to the lawsuit. A Hispanic contractor for Shell, whose contract had previously been in the process of being terminated for poor performance, also won a role on the team, along with a Hispanic woman without U.S. citizenship, the lawsuit said. Well, what happened to... It has nothing to do with hiring people based on race or gender. It's simply that we need to give people with equal qualifications a chance. No one is hiring unqualified people. I mean, all of us knew that was a lie based on everything we've read for like the last decade, but they still keep repeating that same lie, and there are still retards who believe that lie. And Trump didn't show his online on the Discord for 2 days, and leftoids were cheering as though he died. Naturally, he was just playing golf. You can't make up something so dumb. When it was revealed that she was ineligible due to her citizenship, the woman was given a high-level role at Shell in Mexico, according to the complaint. Imagine, like, not having qualifications for a job and then not even having citizenship and the company being like, oh, that's okay. We'll just give you another role that you're not qualified for in your home country. Holy fuck, bro. Our ambition is to become one of the most diverse and inclusive organizations in the world, a place where everyone feels valued and respected and has a strong sense of belonging. The lawsuit accuses Shell of maintaining illegal racial hiring and promotion quotas in the U.S., despite actions taken by the Trump administration to squash DEI programs. On its website, the oil company boasts that it is working to become one of the most diverse and inclusive organizations in the world. It has a global council for race consisting of senior executives that aim to advance diversity in our workforce so that it better reflects communities in which we work. This is another line that, like, one-shots room temp IQ retards. They're just like, well, yeah, if it's a global company and, like, they're looking to expand in Colombia, why wouldn't they hire Colombians for the Colombian sector? And it's like, they're not talking about doing something as sensical as that. If they were, nobody would really fucking complain. That would just make sense. So a company of super racists. Got it. A company of, yeah, fuck the white people. Fuck white people, get them out. Taylor was stripped of his role and forced to relocate to the East Coast, while Romack and Thomas Hutt, a white man and U.S. veteran who worked at Shell for 15 years, were fired, the suit claims. Hunt, who had managed the security team, appeared to mock Romack and Hutt's firings, giving them each a tear jar, according to the lawsuit. I cannot imagine being so racist that I fire someone because of their race, and then when they both complain and file a lawsuit, I give them a tear jar. This isn't merely advanced racism. This isn't, I don't need early life anymore. This is like a whole new level of racism. Shadowsgate, thank you. Thank you for the 25 gift subs on Kickmad. Thank you. Thank you. That's huge. Big gift subbies. Thank you for keeping the warm bodies covered in blankets. You're great. Congrats. You've royally fucked yourself, retard. That's crazy. That's crazy. And like, again, it's crazy to see them be so fucking bold and smug about it. But when you think about how insulated and protected they've been in their racism for so long, it's not surprising that they're just like, yeah, get the fuck out, white guy. Oh, you're complaining I fired you because you're white? Here's your fucking tear jar, idiot. No one's gonna care. Like, it doesn't surprise me. It's only Shell where you can get a gas discount. Oh no. This is I spent my peak neuroplasticity on 4chan and can now detect minorities through walls. I can smell it. Jesus fucking Christ, that's insane. Like, I'm just rereading this sentence. Giving them each a tear jar. Oh my god, I hope they win so much fucking money in this lawsuit. This is evidence of conduct that is callous, willful, and wanton, the lawsuit said. It became clear that these promoted employees had objectively weaker qualifications, with at least one asking Taylor for help with their new job. Yeah, white boy, you go train your replacement and you gon' like it. It all goes back to the soup. Fucking wonton soup! Campbell's, how could you do this to me? Taylor was ousted from his role in Houston, where he was replaced with Ana Chavez, a Hispanic woman, and relocated to a security advisor position in the East region, which had been his third of 4 choices, the suit said. But Taylor has repeatedly been asked to complete tasks belonging to Chavez, like guarding the CEO, because it was well known that she was not competent to fulfill those duties. Then why the fuck did you give her his job? Bro, if I got replaced by someone less qualified than myself because I'm white, and then my boss was like, hey bro, I know we like took away your position and we relocated you on the other side of the country, but like, can you come out and do your previous job's duties? Because your replacement actually isn't competent enough to fulfill them. I'd be like, yeah, nah, bro, I hope the CEO gets shot, actually. Then maybe you can double my salary and I'll come back. Holy shit. Taylor was passed over for his second choice position in the West region, which went to Hector Erazo, a Hispanic man and contractor for Shell, the suit said. Hutt, who supervised Taylor and Romack before he was fired, said both were more qualified than Erazo, whose contract he had been in the process of terminating in 2024 for poor performance, according to the lawsuit. Since taking on the role in August, Erazo has asked for Taylor's help, claiming he has never completed a security assessment or security plan for executive protection, even admitting that he has never even seen one, according to the lawsuit. I cannot imagine how fucking angry I would be if I were any of these people and I watched these incompetent retards taking jobs that I should have been getting paid for. But instead, oh no, I can't do the job. I'm too fucking white. Holy shit. What do you mean a security plan quoted by head of security? That's insane. That is crazy. And you know what's even crazier? The fact that they're replacing security people for CEOs of companies like this in a time where we had that like Luigi Manicotti guy just go out and execute a CEO. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? This is insanity. You would think the CEOs would at least care about their own lives more so than DEI. Oh my god. I'm in danger. The CEO reading this article. Mr. Bigglesworth, thank you for the 10 gift subs on Kick, buddy. Thank you. Thank you. This post has been removed due to glowing. At this point, the CEO should just walk into traffic for all the good it's doing. Holy shit. All the other kids with the pumped up kicks. Yeah, right. It's fucking Jesus, man. The post was unable to reach Chavez and Erazo for comment. Wow, I'm so shocked. What our clients experienced should alarm every American. Julie Holler, attorney for America First Legal, there they are again, fucking based, which filed the suit on behalf of Taylor and Romack, said in a statement. If a corporation can openly discriminate against employees because of the color of their skin under the guise of DEI, then no one's rights are safe. And she's completely correct. That's all DEI is. DEI isn't about helping people, it's about just eliminating white people. If you read everything they're saying, if you look at everything they're doing, if you look at how they talk about white people in like the SHRM conferences, that's just what it is. I don't even understand why, because it's like, there's so many different kinds of white people, man. Like, I don't understand. DEI is about expunging the zucchini manicotti. They don't, because they can see the same patterns we can. Conservatives tend to handle shit within the law. It's not likely that we'd commit political murder. I mean, Taylor and Romack are seeking unspecified compensatory and punitive damages. I hope they fucking win, bro. I hope they win. Lawsuits are extremely important to be filed. More important that they are won. True. The dollar amount should be astronomical. Also true. Causing much pain, and the terms should include mandatory employee meetings on why all discrimination is wrong. The amount should be reasonable or the cost goes down to the customers. I don't know if it's possible. Shell should be Bud Lighted. Is the CEO aware that his protection was incompetent to fulfill her duties? Yeah. Yeah, right? Why do these people always need standards to be lowered in order to be qualified for schools, public, private sector jobs, etc.? Always needing special treatment. Can't compete on an even playing field. Can never get one of you to answer that. And I don't think that's the case, right? Like, the actual unironic non-racist statement is that women and minorities don't need handouts in order to get jobs. If they want to qualify for something, they can go get the qualifications. They can get the education. They can get, you know, whatever they need to get into that job. Hiring unqualified people simply for their skin color or their gender or orientation or whatever the fuck have you, that is what gives the impression that there's just like this massive incompetency. Oh my god, who made this model? This is made by Fumetsu no Tora. He makes very nice fluff and very veiny dicks. Don't forget to never accept settlements. Settlements are nothing more than bribes. True and real. The Shell gas station's on fire. New talented employees. Put it out with gasoline. Forget racism of low expectations. Racism of I never even thought of expectations. Yeah, right, man. Oddly strange thing to mention. What do you mean? That's why DEI hire is an insult. If DEI was so great, it wouldn't be. Actually true and real. Actually true and real. All right. Do I have anything I can cover in like 10 minutes here before I have to end early for the Side Scrollers Plus segmente?
This entire—
No, shut up! Well, I guess off the back of that, we can go. What's in the Side Scrollers Plus part? Like an hour from now? Question mark? I have to be there early, but I think it's an hour from now. They're doing King of the Kart, so it's a bunch of other content creators playing Mario Kart and seeing who is the best at the kart game. And it's gonna be like, if you watched King of the Couch last time, it's gonna be very similar to that. And I'm not playing, but I am narrating. I mean, I'm a caster, whatever the fuck those things are called. Not to mention, Tora did this model as a gift. Yeah, he's a real one. He's a fucking completely free, wonderful gift model. Wonderful Tora man. You'll get to see his art on my shop as well. He made Konko, our mascot for the shop. Co-host, thank you, that's what it is. Color commentator. I hope we get more MILFs in the hallway. The drunk wine moms, bro. I guess I could do this really quick. There's a little thing from Libs of TikTok here. 8th graders at TV USD. What is this? Temecula Valley USD. I don't even know where the fuck that is. Beg the board to remove guidelines which require girls who don't want boys invading their private spaces to declare that they have a mental illness. TV USD wants these young girls to say they have a mental illness because they don't want boys in their bathrooms. That's crazy. That you're some kind of bigot if you correctly recognize dysphoria as a mental illness, but they want you, a normal person, to just be like, no, I have the mental illness because I don't want people who could potentially be bad actors pretending they have an identity entering my bathroom. That's nuts, bro. Bjorn Thor Goodmanson, thank you for the ISK. Does this model have the signature veiny one on it? I don't have any dicks on my models because I am not a Fuda, and Fuda is degenerate and disgusting. But he did give the one toggle everyone should have. It's real. Projection through legal force. Yep, pretty much. So let's listen to this little fucking video here. Let's listen, brother. Turn off the BGM. Turn off.
It's at James L. Day Middle School.
This year, we are both in a PE class with a biological male who is transitioning. We are young women and do not feel comfortable changing in front of a biological male. Everyone should feel comfortable and safe at school. Shouldn't be a thing. We should not have to claim we are mentally unstable or extremely religious to be accommodated for this reason. I ask you to rethink your decision and reevaluate this right now. Please rethink what you're doing. There has to be a better solution. There has to be something that is better than what this is stating right now. Thank you.
And we're both 8th grade students.
It's a little wild that despite not being articulate because they're fucking children, they're still more rational than the adults in that room. The better solution, oh god. Are they trying to get the women to forcefully help transition the AGP with scissors? What the fuck? What the fuck are you talking about? This is why we shouldn't have let them call it a phobia. Incredibly brave, especially considering she sounded scared. Oh yeah, I would not be able to speak publicly at that age, bro. I'd be terrified. It's wild that it's happening in middle school. Yeah. Hopefully things are actually finally changing for once, and these girls will not have to deal with this for much longer. It just, I don't know, man. The collective insanity of the past few years has been real crazy, man. Did I see the GamerSupps map that showed what flavors are popular in what states? No, I haven't. Where's that map? That sounds cool. That sounds cool. If they claim to be mentally unstable, wouldn't that affect their rights further down the line? I don't know, because like when you claim to be mentally unstable to your school, I don't know if that goes like on a permanent record or anything on anywhere. I think that needs to be determined by like an actual psychiatrist or some shit. You missed the Jujutsu Kaisen? I miss the Jujutsu Kaisen flavor too. Oh yeah, give it to me. Give me the map, bro. Georgia's lean, go figure. That's funny. I can't even tell what the flavor is for fucking New Hampshire or Massachusetts because it's so tiny. How was the banana propaganda flavor the most popular one here? Wasn't that only for sale for like a couple of weeks? Wasn't that what? Brand risk based? I'm surprised Guacamole Gamer Fart is like multiple. Schlot milk. Oh my god. That's grandma over there. Delicious grandma. A Georgia lean. Sweet six pack is a great fucking flavor. California girls, the song. It's eternal. Give me them anime girl thighs. Board DevOps, thank you. The map is slanderous against Alabama. What, you don't like fucking... I forget which one's Alabama, I'm gonna be real honest with you. Washington has bloodlust, not surprising. Patchouli, thank you. AGP, stay away from me. It's gonna be like a chant now. I think New Hampshire and Vermont are both a blowhole blast, it looks like. I have zero fucking clue what Massachusetts is. What is that? What is that? Is that part of the, like, Guacamole Gamer Farts? I think that might be the Tyrannosaurus from Guacamole Gamer Fart. It's so hard to tell. Shy Lily looking buff in the south. You're right. I'm for creatine, thank you. Are you not surprised at all that lean is the most popular GamerSupps flavor in Georgia, where Atlanta is? I gotta get the purple drink. You have no idea what Maine is? Is that dragon fruit? Isn't that the dragon fruit one? Tennessee to Mississippi together looks so hilarious. Yeah, you know, kinda does. Kinda does. Pastille's antidote is good. Which one is Missouri, New Hampshire, Vermont, blowhole? Yeah. What's New Jersey? New Jersey's the raw meat looking like. Raw meat in New Jersey. It's copium. North Carolina's only foxes. Hell yeah. See that Pastille's state has all of the fans of Tarkov. You love the sad caveman so much. He is a nice sad caveman. BT, thank you. Maine is a state! What do you mean you don't know where Maine is? I said I don't remember where Mississippi is. Because like, this is Georgia, and then like one of these is Mississippi and one of these is Louisiana, but I always get them confused. I don't remember which one is which, man. Ohio isn't there. Yeah, because no one fucking cares about Ohio, brother. Mississippi is grandma's ashes. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Louisiana's the one that looks like a boot. Oh yeah, I just forgot Alabama existed entirely, didn't I? Mississippi's grandma's ashes. Yeah, I guess just these 3 states. I don't care. Get them out. They removed Ohio. Well, yeah, because fucking who cares about Ohio, man? Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, going west.
Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, ayyy.
She really does hate the South. I do. You're gonna make it your life's purpose to give everyone a reason, one they won't like? What do you mean by this? You live in Ohio. Well, if you want to contribute to your state statistics, or maybe even getting Ohio back on the map. Oh, JFJ snake oil in fucking Hawaii. That's interesting. That's interesting. Make sure you buy gamer subs using code Kirsche for 10% off your orders. Ayyy. Sad Alabama noises. Who is Sweet Six Pack? I don't remember which creator is Sweet Six Pack, but it's a delicious fucking flavor, man. Queso is Alaska. Queso's flavor is also really good to me. I like that flavor. I would continue yapping for 1,000 years if I was given the opportunity, chat. But I must end early tonight, as I must prepare for Side Scrollers Plus, King of the Cart. If you are not subscribed to Side Scrollers Plus and you want to go over there and hang out and see all of the fun events that we get up to, I can't stop hiccuping, bro. Make sure you use code FOXLADY to sign up for Side Scrollers Plus. Using code FOXLADY, you also support the me. Ayyy. No French game. I did say yesterday I wouldn't be able to get to French game. I did mention. I did dimensions. We rated Phillian yesterday. Yeah, I'm just gonna raid into fucking Asmon. Why not? Why not, man? Let's go see Husbando, man. Alright, he's played Path of Exile, a game I will never play. See you tomorrow, you'll be here. Yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. If you aren't gonna be on Side Scrollers Plus, I'll be here tomorrow, normal time. A little bit of yapping, and definitely gonna get to French game, since I could not do French game today. So French game tomorrow. Go give happy little scurrying things to Asmongold. I'm sure he needs more weird shit in his walls and ceiling. Yeah, I'm sure the Kirsches can do a bit more damage. You know, maybe it won't even be noticed. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Thank you for spending time with me, and see you on Side Scrollers Plus in about an hour or tomorrow. Bye bye. Bye bye.